Welcome to CineQuest Video.
All right, welcome to CineQuest Video, episode number 51. On this episode, we're going to be discussing the conclusion of our most excellent journey.
Trilogy.
Is
it 51?
It is 51.
It's amazing. 51.
You sure?
It is.
All right.
The only reason I know that is because I was editing the other one. And what am I editing right now? I'm editing what? Bogus? No.
No, that just dropped.
You posted that already. Reanimator, no?
Oh yeah, that's later though.
Oh.
Yeah.
So anyways, we're concluding our trilogy of the Bill and Ted movies. So we're gonna be talking about Bill and Ted Face the Music, which just came out August 20th, 2020 during the pandemic, which was I guess a bit of a spoiler. A very welcome delight from all the bullshit that's going on right now.
I mean, considering we're expecting I wasn't expecting it to be video on demand. I thought they were gonna just like wait. And put it in theaters.
I think that's the one thing that people were kind of happy about, and I say that speaking for myself was that I was happy that they didn't.
New Mutants.
They didn't wait.
Yeah.
Oh fuck that.
I want to see that movie. I'm not gonna go to the theater right now.
No,
that's
man.
a throwaway movie.
Those are idiots.
At this time, it's a fucking throwaway movie.
Yeah,
dude. I'm not gonna go over there for that.
How long was it like on the show for? Like 5 years?
I think it was supposed to come out 2017.
Yeah. The cast is much older now.
They're all They all
like Macy Williams, super young, like in Game of Thrones when it first began, and it was good.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones sucks now, just FYI.
Yeah,
well, it's over now.
I mean, it's good because it's over.
But it still sucks ass.
That's why it's good because it's over.
Terrible, man. Terrible.
So if you haven't seen it already, there's spoilers throughout this whole podcast, and that's just what we do. We talk about the movie pretty thoroughly from beginning to end with a few thoughts and discussions in between. But so if you haven't seen the movie, watch it first, or if you want to just not watch it and just listen to us talk about it,
I mean, that's cool too. Like, it's whatever the hell we say, like, it's still worth watching.
Yeah, I think so as well.
The movie was very, very, very enjoyable.
It's pretty surprisingly
had some good laughs, some
enjoyable.
good scenes.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of people say that, this movie's trash, but I love it, or like I shouldn't like this, but it's so amazing, kind of stuff. I'm like, well, fuck you.
Well, yeah, I mean, if
admit it,
if anyone's familiar with the other two movies themselves, I mean, they're not the best movies around.
No,
but they are fun.
Full of lovable characters.
Yeah, lovable characters. Yeah. And I think that's the main essence of these movies is that they have characters that people care about.
I think it's kind of interesting that like what's popular online or in like media right now is like wholesome, like in general wholesome shit. And so that's all this movie is. Like there's these two dudes that you would think are huge druggies and like burnouts, and they're actually throughout the whole movie they've been trying for like 20.
They're pretty stand-up guys.
25 years or something like that since the end of Bogus Journey.
What it looked like, they were I don't think it's a spoiler. It's just in the trailer. They were stand-up dads too, because the kids
they might be actually pretty good dads as well.
Yeah, they've got. So yeah, in this movie, they've got they each have a daughter apiece. Billy is Ted's daughter, and what's the Thea or some
Bill's daughter. Yeah.
And there was one question that we left off with Bogus Journey was how are they going to resolve the fact that at the end of that movie they called their kids, this is little Bill and this is little Ted.
Right.
They did resolve that in the first like 5 minutes of the movie.
Are their nicknames.
That was their nicknames growing up.
Yeah.
And they kind of took after their fathers, like obsessed with music and all that kind of stuff.
When Death meets them later,
great job on the actresses
towards the end of the movie.
The daughters, they really embodied the characters that they portrayed in the first two movies. I thought the actress that played Thea and Billy did an awesome job.
Samara Weaving and
Specialist, I believe it's
Bridget Lundy Payne.
Billy, Ted's daughter. She practically was Ted from the first two movies.
Yeah, so that's another thing. Right, like they are basically Bill and Ted.
Yeah, but the actresses themselves did awesome.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, they got their mannerisms down pretty well. It's pretty cool. Like I don't think there was an angry word really said between either pairs throughout the whole movie. Now that isn't to say that like there wasn't. It was mostly with Bill and Ted talking to Bill and Ted. They're like their future versions. That's the only time like they've ever actually gotten cross with anyone. I think.
And on that, man, I swear this franchise has a tendency to just like really throw my expectations away because I'm like, oh, so this is probably what's gonna happen, and no, something totally different happens.
So I was before we started, I was telling Jerry that I think this movie is kind of a mix of the first two.
Yeah,
because
for sure.
like in the first movie, it's they're tripping through time, right? Like they go and they meet all these historical figures, and like you had said before, they are. Well, we're going to be sort of pointing that out, but they're basically two sort of separate plots,
right?
Or rather two.
There's like 2 and a quarter
intersecting.
Like, in a way, it's 2 adventures.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So the main story is split into into two separate segments. Billy and Thea go back through time and start meeting all these,
musicians.
famous musicians, while Bill and Ted are actually
trying to find the music that they write.
Right. Yeah. They're trying to go through the future to. Because
speaking of that, is that they're going into they're going through time, through the future, to kind of take the easy way out,
right?
To get the song that they allegedly have already written,
and so like between the two of them, like Bill and Ted have the darker version of the story because like they go and meet their future selves who fucking hate them, and they're trying to kick their asses like throughout the whole thing, and also like. Actually, like we say that they're stand-up guys, but as it goes in the future, they become really shitty. Right, they become really shitty because as it turns out, they haven't saved the world yet. In case anyone listening hasn't figured out, like by this point, why there's a third movie at all, and it's because for like the past 25 years, Bill and Ted have been trying to come up with the perfect song, and they flop left and right.
Well, the perfect song to unite the world and the universe and all that kind of stuff.
So,
but I mean,
like, they don't find that.
Not to say that they haven't written good music at any.
Well,
at any point
I mean, how many? It doesn't say, like we probably should have counted all the cue cards in the beginning. How many albums that they put out?
Yeah.
Even though they get discounted as shit, like there you see a CD and it gets like a 99-cent sticker slapped on there at one point.
I mean, in the very beginning of the movie,
they were at the top
when they're at the wedding. They are doing some experimental ass shit.
Oh yeah, it's very avant-garde.
Yeah. What is that instrument called?
The theremin.
The theremin.
The theremin. And Bill's excellent vocals.
His deep singing. And what is that other instrument he's playing?
I thought it was like a steel drum.
Yeah.
That was like
and then he had some
Tupperware.
bongos. It was Tupperware. It did kind of look like a plastic Tupperware lid.
Yeah, I thought it was a Tupperware.
I like the fact that in the beginning of that, when they're starting to play, when he's using the theremin, like he hits like either the delay or like a loop pedal.
Yeah,
so
he has a pedal hooked up to it.
And then he like brings out something else.
He brings out
the bagpipes.
Brings in the bagpipes.
And then fucking was it the trumpet?
Yeah,
the trumpet.
Wait, they learned how to play all those fucking instruments. So
they've got a lot of shit. Like you see the
which
inside of their
is
garage.
a huge
later.
step up from the second movie where they didn't
know
even
how to play shit. No,
they could barely play the
that's
guitar.
something that
This one,
I kept forgetting.
They have great
throughout the movie. I'm
equipment.
like, oh wait, they know how to play the guitar already. Yeah.
So they're playing
I
at a
thought
wedding.
they were still buffoons, just like doing their thing. Trying to be like a good band, but I forgot they actually learned that.
Yeah.
There certainly is buffoonery, I guess, in that like it doesn't work out for them. So like the wedding that they're playing at, it's between Missy getting remarried to fucking
I would say at this point it's her
Ted's little brother. It's her third marriage.
Right?
Yeah,
but it's her third marriage within the Soul family. So the first one she's married to Bill's dad. She divorces him.
Yep.
And the second one she marries
Ted's dad. And this one
she divorces Ted's dad, marries Ted's
son. Excuse me. Ted's father's.
His
little brother.
His little brother.
Yeah. And so like just like in the second movie where you see Bill's dad sitting there looking depressed, like you see Ted's dad, and this one just looking fucking.
It's funny whenever they're talking about how that makes him like his own son-in-law or some shit like that.
Yeah.
He just the father just has.
He has the look of disgust.
You know what's fucking hilarious is that
look of disgust.
They allow this woman still into their lives after all the fucking shit.
Exactly, they love her. Like
nobody told her anything.
Nobody ever hates Missy. She's great. Yeah.
Yeah. She's apparently she must be like so nice, but she just her fucking loins are just uncontrollable, and she falls in love with whoever she falls in love with or something.
And they love it back. I don't know because like
they're just like
it knows no boundaries. Basically, I mean,
it's almost like endearing.
Ted's little brother is also now his father, and what is that? Does that? What did they say? Like the relation to his brother is to Ted's father himself. Like now
makes him like his own his own son or something. Yeah, some shit like that. It doesn't make any sense.
No,
but it's just
it doesn't. It's fucking hilarious.
It's so funny though.
I mean, so yeah, again, back to the set that they're putting on. The only people that seem to be enjoying it are their daughters.
Yeah.
And like at one point, like Ted is headbanging on the theremin. And like like kicking it or doing some shit. He picks it up, and then like that's when his dad unplugs the set.
He's already fucking annoyed with this shit.
Right? Yeah. Deacon and Missy are trying to dance, and like they go from like trying to do like a holding hands doing like a 2-step to like okay, I guess I guess we're gonna hold each other on the waist or
some
something.
kind of like interpretive dance
shuffle
or something.
Well, I mean that's what the daughters are doing, right? They were like sort of spinning in place and like doing some kind of like arm wavy. That's fucking
interpretive dance that they're doing. Just experimental. Who knows what to fucking call the type of music that they were playing, but
stuff you do with drugs, basically. And
but they're not on drugs.
Exactly.
They might be actual geniuses.
They're high on life.
Yeah, their musical. Honestly, like if they're coming up with this weird ass shit and just experimenting sober, they must be fucking geniuses, dude.
Yeah, imagine what they would be like on drugs.
Which up until that point, we can for sure confirm that Bill does not drink. I mean, no, not Bill. Ted absolutely does not drink.
He doesn't.
It
was in the movie confirmed
until his life
that
changes.
He doesn't do that.
Oh.
So this is all natural talent.
Yeah.
I mean, they...
Well, as natural as you can get.
So, yeah, like, they pretty much get the show cut off. And at that point, I guess...
the father is still kind of...
He's still
like touting the same kind of
he's the
thing.
Same.
Is that he's telling them
he's still a dick.
They need to get jobs.
Yeah.
They need to just give up on this
Your time
dream.
travel thing is bullshit. Your wives aren't.
You never time traveled. You never went to hell.
Like,
you never went to heaven.
Why are you here with these problems? Like he's just a bitter bastard. It's only gotten worse.
Dad to Ted, which going back to what I said earlier, where I said that Ted's an awesome dad. It's really cool how he turned out to be a really good dad to his kid when his own dad wasn't like a good father to him, at least not supportive into like his dreams were and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
and he feels the same way about the daughters too, because they're like allegedly they're like 24.
Yeah,
they're 24. They don't have jobs and all they do is listen to music and shit.
Yeah,
but
so
eat hot Cheetos.
I'm just thinking it's because
Cheetos,
Bill and Ted were so supportive of each other, like throughout their lives, that they didn't fucking need the dad at all. And
because I mean, speaking of that, is that they go to fucking marriage counseling together, and they're completely almost clueless to the fact that whenever they're supposed to.
Couples, like it's one couple. They show up together.
Like the marriage is supposed to be between one person and like the woman, the wife. Like they think it's them as a one whole unit.
Group marriage.
It's not a one-on-one. It's a 2-on-2.
Yeah. Right. And so yeah, they want.
And I like how they cannot clarify the fact that I can't say I love you. They say
they use the royal
we love you, and then they try to do it individually themselves.
I and Bill,
Elizabeth,
love you together.
I and Bill love you.
Both,
and then the other ones are like, no, Ted. What is it? Joanna, myself, and Ted's heart. And me and Ted love you. It's just like the therapists are like, God damn it. I don't get paid enough for this.
So like they go, the wives, unbeknownst to them, ask them to go to a couples counseling, and instead of showing up separately, they both show up together. And when they meet up right before the meeting,
is this the right time?
The wives are confused, but Bill and Ted are like, oh no, yeah, like we're here. Like this is what you wanted. Let's go. And who's the chick that plays the doctor that they see? She's from
Workaholics.
Yeah.
She's Jillian from Workaholics.
I've seen her in other stuff too.
She came out in another movie. She starred in by herself. Someone runs a marathon. Jillian Bell, yeah.
Jillian Bell.
She came out in a movie where she like runs a marathon and loses weight and kind of like does all this stuff, and it was actually a pretty good movie. I enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember her clearly. It's 22 Jump Street. She was
she was like with the villain too. She was one of the villains.
She was like the main villain and stuff. I think it was Jonah Hill that had the job of chasing her down and trying to take her down, but he had such a hard time with it.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
He was struggling.
Yeah, so basically, they're asked to leave so the wives can kind of have counseling with the therapist by themselves. Right. And so basically they go home, and you can kind of see it on Ted's face. He's like exhausted. Like he's like tired of doing it now. Like keep on writing. He's tired of people writing songs and nothing happening.
Right. He's tired of all
for so many
the
years,
destini's not being fulfilled. Yeah.
You can tell.
Bill still has the passion, it seems like, within him to keep on going, but Ted is just tired. Like you can see it in his face. He's just not having it anymore. In fact, that there's a point where he tells Bill that he's thinking about selling the Les Paul that he has, which is like $6,000 for it, which sounds about right. I would say that number is up probably more because he is Ted from the Wild Stallions.
Right.
And I mean, I would imagine like they have nice houses. They must have made a lot of money regarding like their music and stuff.
They were successful.
At some point, they were like very successful. So they must have made some money. Off the music.
And like those 99 cent CDs, dude, they kind of bring in a little bit. 100 here, 100 there.
I mean, for those of them still using CDs or whatever.
And even through all that, dude, it's really awesome to see that the daughters were like the only, like the real fans of Wild Stallions. Like
they had
about them. They're like, okay, Dad, we'll clear the room so you guys can work and everything like that. And they just took off. It was awesome, man. I like seeing that relationship there.
As Bill had said, he was surprised by their musical acumen.
Yeah, because they were making comparisons to the way he played the theremin to some lady, like she's a real person who like played the theremin and became very virtuoso at it. So she compared him to that lady. And then
he was that was my influence.
The deep singing, they also compared to an actual real musician who did that as well. So they're not just spitting out fucking fake ass names here. Like these are like real people that they're talking about.
And so that's when, they take off, and Bill and Ted are sitting there like, pondering their life's decisions or whatever. And I think that's around the time.
That's pretty much exactly the time that Kelly shows up, who happens to be Rufus's daughter.
Right.
Played by the wonderful Kristen Shaw.
Yeah. And she basically tells them that the elders from the future, they want to speak with them, and basically they're giving them, which we don't know at this time, but we find out later in the movie, the last opportunity to write this song.
Right, because like the stakes,
they don't know it yet. That Bill and Ted don't know it, but they're planning to kill him.
Right, yeah. Because the problem is that it's not only about like unifying the world and world peace necessarily.
Basically
anymore.
reality itself.
Reality fucking is going to fall apart, or starts to fall apart. In the beginning of the movie, like it prefaces before they start, like you see people like random historical figures getting dropped in like modern time, or like just taking out of their own particular times. And like just
Jesus,
right? Where was he thrown? Like at a
he was thrown in front of the Kid Cudi concert.
Yeah, that's right. Like the fucking and well, like it starts with people, and then later on, like
the Kid Cudi concert.
Later on, it starts like teleporting, like places and things. So like the fucking pyramids of Giza, the Eiffel Tower,
Babe Ruth.
Right, Babe Ruth.
George Washington.
George Washington
gets teleported into the doctor's office, and she just fucking like flat out just like denies it. She just turns around and just no, and just runs off. So like time is falling apart.
They tell them it's collapsing into itself. And not only time,
they need them to come up with the song, and like was it how long did they give
17 hours? Right?
Was this it was like 3 hours or something.
It was like 7 hours or something like that.
Short period.
It was I
thought it was 17 or 7 hours or something.
I thought it was like almost like an hour and a half or something.
It's
something ridiculous. They're like
you're thinking of like legit movie time. Like you have 91 minutes to come up with the song.
Roll the credits.
We roll the credits. If you don't come up with the song before the credits roll, everyone, including you, they break the fourth wall. You watching this movie are going to die.
Well,
we won't ever let you kickstart another one.
I don't think it was like 17 hours, so.
No, it wasn't.
Okay, I think it was maybe 7 hours. I feel like there was a number 7 in there somewhere.
Somewhere 7, yeah. 7 minutes?
So yes, it was 70. It was 77 minutes and 25 seconds.
Oh yeah, they just drop like a rack of a bunch of different guitars behind them, and they're like, "Go, do your thing," and they're just like, "Yeah, okay."
And they had a nice selection of guitars.
And so that is when Ted has the most counterintuitive idea that he has ever had, as far as Bill is concerned, where they up and decide that why do they need to make the song themselves when they can just go in the future and take the song that's already been made from themselves.
No, but Bill, isn't that stealing?
No, dude. How is it stealing if we're taking it from ourselves?
That's logic right there, bro.
Perfect. Perfect. Awesome. Infallible.
So then
So I mean, let's just go through the different instances of themselves
Daniel,
that they come across.
It sucks that Daniel wasn't able to be here for it, but he and I had both thought like, okay, how are they going to have a Rufus like homage or something?
Yeah, we had mentioned that.
It's going to be a hologram. It's going to be a fucking hologram.
Actually, I think Daniel said specifically, or you said
I did, and then Daniel said it later on.
There has to be a Rufus hologram.
And I was like, there's going to be a hologram. There's going to be, and there it is. I was like, oh, and it was awesome. It was pretty awesome. It was a
nice little homage to George Carlin.
It was a clip from the first one. The first one, yeah. George Carlin wasn't wearing the whatever the future duds that were in Bogus Journey,
which you probably prefer.
Yeah, I would. He still looked cool as fuck though. Like he had the trench coat and the fucking glasses and just hello gentlemen, you know.
Yeah.
And they're walking to meet the elders. They see the original phone booth and like there's a little hologram sort of like.
Well, see that's another thing is that
display of
they bring up the fact. Well, Kelly comes in this new pod. Mm-hmm. Kind of thing. It's a new futuristic pod. Mm-hmm. And I think when I first saw the movie, I was like, and mind you, we'd seen stills from the making of it. So I knew the phone booth was going to show up at some point.
Sure.
I was like, there's no way they're not going to not use the phone booth, right?
Hey, it's one of those goop eggs.
There's another thing. Yeah. I was like, where are they going to, first of all, where are they going to get
it? They're going to shove it into the vag of time and flip to the future.
Yeah. What is that chick's name again?
Oh, Gwyneth Paltrow?
Yeah. They're going to have Gwyneth Paltrow there.
Yeah.
Gooping her vag eggs out.
To save reality.
Goop harder.
It's how they go. It's not the circuit. Yeah, see, the telephone booth goes through the circuits of time. The fucking goop egg goes through the
vag of time.
The vag of time. The fallopian tubes of time.
Oh man! So have you ever seen the movie Inner Space?
For a second, I thought you were gonna say something about like the
no.
Wait, which one?
Inner Space. It's with Dennis Quaid and like
I don't think
Martin.
Jay-Z? No.
No, from Three Amigos. Little dude.
Martin Short.
Martin Short. It's with Dennis Quaid, Martin Short, and I think Meg Ryan. It's where Dennis Quaid is. I think he's like a scientist or a pilot, and they come up with something where they shrink him down into like microscopic.
And they inject him up to
and they inject him inside a body, and he's in someone's like body, like traveling.
I don't
through,
think
like, the
so.
body and shit like that.
That sounds.
Oh, through Martin Short's body. Sorry, he gets injected that way. But I think it's accidental though.
Because
it's accidental. That's why
that plot's been used before.
That's where the comedy comes
in other movies.
Was it before that one?
No, that sounds like what it looked. Was that like an '80s movie? Yeah, no, this was like later. I think like in. Like other cartoons and other movies and where
like the
I know the Mighty Boosh has an episode where like they shrink them down, they inject
man, the Mighty Boosh
they inject each other or like a group of people into what the hell Noel Fielding's character I forget his name, because what happens is that like he bites into a jazz record, and all of a sudden gets possessed by the spirit of jazz, and so he can't stop like skeeting, and they're like, "Fuck, he's possessed. We must save him," you know. And so like they shrink themselves down into
typical Mighty Bishop.
into a submarine and like inject him in there, and that's when they go and meet the I think the brain cell of
the jazz possessor or something.
No, like the spirit of jazz. He's in there. He's inside of him, and he just looks like he looks like a zombie like a witch doctor. He's got like the white face paint and like a top hat and shit.
That's the spirit of jazz.
Yeah, and then he's got like, oh man, it's fucking awesome. It's so stupid, but like Noel Fielding plays that character. And so like he's just walking around, looking all evil, and you know they go in there and they fight him, and you see like Noel Fielding's his white blood cells, like they just look
Vince
like
Noir.
Vince Noir.
That's his name. Vince Noir.
Thank you. They go into Vince's body, and like what was the name of his buddy?
Howard Moon. Fucking favorite.
So like
character.
Howard goes into his body, and like he gets attacked by Vince's white blood cells, but like they just kind of look like white sperm, and like it's just Vince's faces, like a bunch of them, you know, like a group of them facing off against him. And I just remember that episode because it was so funny, the stupid shit they say. Howard is like, no, look, I'm Vince's friend, like, and they're like, really, you? No, we will. Was it prepare the bath? Yes, the bath of pain. And you know, just like a bunch of dumb shit. Like it's a fucking great episode. But anyways, like. So that, like I was saying, that premise has been used a lot before. That's just the last one I can think of, but I know.
Well, I mean, I'm assuming that's a movie we'll eventually talk about.
Sure.
Inner Space. But going back to the fact that they brought back the phone booth.
Yes.
The minute you saw the phone booth on the runway, which it was just kind of randomly
looks
there.
rickety as fuck.
Yeah. You're like, oh, okay, well, there it is. That's how they're gonna bring back the phone booth. Like, it didn't take much. Intricate writing style to fucking get it. Like they land on it like a little runway thing, and the booth is right fucking there.
I really like about
that's how they're gonna bring back the phone booth.
It doesn't have it's just like the others. It doesn't have a complicated plot.
No,
like it's surprisingly simple and straightforward.
But
and
I mean,
the
you also
dialogue is
the trying to explain away the way they approach time travel. Don't even bother. Just fucking accept the fact that whatever's happening is happening. You're not here to dissect.
They get Kid Cudi to like ramble away some just like bullshit fucking physics quantum theory about how fucking you know, I don't want to go into it because it's just irritating to listen to him. He does it like 3 times or whatever throughout the movie where he just like babbles some bullshit, and they're like, oh yeah. But don't try to make sense of any of this. So I guess the easiest way to explain it is that you can go forward and backwards in time, and then you can also go sideways because they sort of imply that there are infinite futures and infinite pasts, and they're all intertwined. However the hell they are, that like they're pretty much just saying there are infinite possibilities and parallel universes out there. And it's like, okay, just say that. Just say that.
But I mean, like, if someone's gonna sit there and
try to logic this out.
Yeah, there's don't really do that.
Like,
just go into
it
it
a break
and have some fun watching the time travel.
Nerd.
There's no reason to fucking do that because you're just gonna run away like disappointed and angry at yourself. The only person I can see doing that, which I've seen him do multiple times, is like Neil deGrasse Tyson. Like he can go in there and try to explain like shit away.
It's like the popular thing to do, and
I think it's more like just his thing. But I mean,
I don't know that he really. So I don't necessarily know enough about his personality to say that he does these things just because he can. I just think it's just one of those things that he does.
I think it's just a tick that he has.
I think he does it just as a way to like.
Does it just because he feels like he needs to, sort of?
No.
I think like he can't enjoy something that has like some kind of scientific sort of plot device to it. That he has to be like, he can't sit there and just let him something up in a scientific
I think
manner.
he just does it.
Like he has to like sit there and be like, oh wait. that's wrong. Like that's not true.
I don't think he does it to troll to troll anyone necessarily. I think it's an excuse, or rather a tool for him to draw people into like science awareness.
Yeah, maybe.
And like just look, this is something cool, and I'm going to sort of argue it away. Like I'm not trying to talk shit, but like think about it. Think this way, you know. Like it's just something that that he uses as a device, as a vehicle for promoting education. Like, you know, just like Bill Nye kind of stuff.
Yeah, so basically,
otherwise he's a douche.
Yeah, so yeah,
it doesn't really strike me as a prick. I don't know. Like,
yeah, I've seen him speak. I mean, he seems like a nice guy.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have too much tolerance for bullshit, though.
Well,
which is
that's
good. That's good.
That's good. Actually, I like how he's. I've seen a few of those speeches where he talks about.
Have you seen his Twitter feed?
Not as of late, no.
No, not as of late, but he does that on Twitter too.
I'm sure.
Oh no, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I like how he talks about
that's the place to
keeping
do it.
keeping your religion out of his science. Like that's what I'm like. Okay, good, perfect, because that's what it's supposed to be.
So let's just go through the different versions of themselves that they find as they're time traveling, trying to get the song.
Starting with 2 years.
Right,
They go 2 years into the future. They're playing at some rink-a-dink.
Lounge.
It almost seems like a VFW.
Yeah, what were they? What was the song they were playing? It was
those for those who rock or something.
Rock. It sounded. I didn't.
I thought it was gonna be like an AC/DC
yeah,
song.
I thought so too. I was like, wait, no.
And there is practically nobody in there.
And they're doing it acoustically.
Come
too.
on, rock, rock. They try to get people like one.
And then they see themselves just jam out of there. Like, no, let's go.
Yeah, because apparently they knew they were coming, right? Because time travel.
Yeah,
they knew they were coming.
Travel. And then we get to meet 2 years in future Bill and Ted, which I feel like I know that Ted right now since we have him. I'm staring at him right now. Same long hair, same goatee. He might be going by the name Roland nowadays.
Are you referring to Darth Goggletron the Wise?
That's right.
No, I meant Darth Goggletron the Wise.
I need my goggles.
Seriously, spitting image. I'm not even kidding. I was like, did Kiana just look him up on Facebook?
No, because I don't have that on my picture.
You know what's fucking hilarious? I really didn't see that, and then I looked at him right now, and I can see what you mean. Yeah.
You go. Yeah, he even said he had a leather jacket. I was like, okay, all right.
I'm not putting on a leather jacket.
I think you should, say, hey, thanks for taking my
know what's weird is that unfortunately neither of us can play Ted. First of all, we're too big. Secondly, we're too dark. And
thanks.
Third, well, height wise too. True. We don't. First of all, height wise, we're almost about the same height. So I mean, like Bill's a lot shorter than.
I think Keanu Reeves is like 6'2" or something.
Keanu's a freaking giant.
I don't know. And we're also not white and blonde with curly blonde hair, you know.
So. Get a wig.
No.
Yeah.
You can get a wig.
Unless we play like the Indian versions of Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey.
You could you could play one of the evil Bills from the future.
I mean, there's like an Indian Spider-Man. I mean, I don't see why we can't pull this off.
Yeah. I forgot. I used to know the name of that fucking character. It's cool. All right. Anyways.
Yeah.
Anyways, so we get to meet 2 years in the future, and they're upset.
Yeah, Ted's a dick.
They're upset.
Ted drinks now.
Yeah,
Ted is a drinker.
Drinks a lot.
2 years in the future, Ted is a heavy drinker apparently, and Bill's really the consistent in
Bill has
all
a
the
soul
future.
patch.
Yeah. Where he's kind of okay. Ted's the one that kind of gets a little jerkish.
Bill's more just diving into his anger because the wives have left. Yep. And the daughters don't talk to them. And that's probably, I feel like that's probably the one thing that pisses them off the most.
Probably, yeah.
Or hurts them the most because their daughters don't talk
to them.
They
had really good connections with the daughters.
Had
in that case.
So
they're mad.
Yeah, they're kind of in shock about the fact that Ted's a drinker. He's angry. And the fact that he drinks, it makes him more of a dick.
And another thing is that they kind of like refuse to take responsibility.
Kept the same mannerisms. So he's all mad at everything, but he's still like moving. They
blame past Ted and Bill for their problems, which necessarily doesn't really make any sense. Yeah, because past Bill and Ted are them. Past you tried to fix things and it didn't work, and you're blaming them instead of yourself. I mean, I could say that.
Therein lies the whole.
That right. The paradox. No, the so like it makes sense when they're confronted by young Bill and Ted, but like also at the same time they should have just been like, yeah, we do blame you, but like it's our fault, like technically, because like we are your future, and no, like they just refuse to like take
accountability
for any of that. They're like, this is all your fault, you dicks.
Yeah, I mean, so basically they leave empty-handed. They're almost gonna come to blows, and they just fucking leave.
Yeah, they almost came to blow. Freaking Ted like, wanted to deck out with Ted.
They even tell like, well, it's evil Bill and Ted. I mean, not evil, like burnout Bill and Ted.
Dickhead Bill and Ted.
Yeah, they tell past, or rather present, Bill and Ted that even when they try to fix things, they fucked it up because. They go back and meet with their wives, and their future versions of them actually come back as well and take the wives on like a trip through time to try to find
the future
versions of the wives.
Yes, right, excuse me. The future versions of the wives come back.
2 years ahead was trying to tell them, you're going to go to your wives and try to fix things, or you're going to make it worse. And then their future selves are going to go and they're
try to fix it, and they're going to make it worse.
Versions that are sad and all that stuff.
They're going to try to find a version of
Ted
them
gets really upset. He's like,
that is successful and works.
And then the Bills are like, Ted, we can't, let's go. That scene was so dumb.
Yeah. So I mean, basically, every version of the future, they don't find any happiness.
And so, like, and that's when present Bill and Ted are like, shit. We need to go see our wives, dude. They do exactly what they fucking said
what
that
they
should not do. They told them they shouldn't do, and then they go right back to the fucking couples counselor, and sit down and tell them like, oh man,
new information.
So like future yous are gonna take you throughout time, and you're gonna find out that it sucks. And then it's really funny when Ted tells his wife that he's like, yeah, like I'm gonna develop. I drink a lot, and they're like. No, you don't. Like, he's like, but I will.
But I am.
And a lot, like excessively. And I'm a dick. And
while the counselors are like, what the fuck?
Yeah, what the hell is going on? Because like the wives do tell the counselor, oh yeah, we're from the 1400s. She's like, like the year? And so that's
another thing is that like even Ted's dad doesn't believe that they are from
no one believes them. I don't.
They think that
the daughters
folks.
do. The daughters do believe.
It's they believe it. They believe everything that.
And then they see it later on, like when Bill and Ted get picked up.
I think
they're
like
just
Ted's dad probably thinks like they're from the restaurant medieval times or something. They picked them up while they were eating lunch one day.
They're from like they worked at Six Flags or some shit in like the little medieval section there.
Do you remember fucking the cable guy when they go to medieval times?
Cable guy. Yes.
And he goes, it's fucking
Larry
Andy Dick. He goes, and this is medieval times.
So I still want to watch that. I want to review Cable Guy. I don't know what have you ever seen that movie, Jerry? It's like one of Jim Carrey's worst movies, but it's the best.
I know. I know the movie. I haven't seen it.
It's fucking hilarious.
But
it's really
if we're talking about good medieval time movies, I think we should do the one with Martin Lawrence, where he travels.
Black Knight. Jesus Christ, that movie is so bad. Yeah.
I don't know.
That should be a shitfest
Jerry,
movie.
I don't know if you know this, but I don't know if it was one of these this one here or his brother that gave me Black Knight for like Christmas one day as like a fucking DVD.
I think that was my brother.
It was probably Orly who did that.
I tried to give you Blackula.
Yeah, y'all did some kind of like black thing.
It was on sale, all right?
It was on sale. And then when y'all motherfuckers gave me Ghost Dog.
Oh, no, that was me.
Do you know what Ghost Dog is?
No.
It's Forrest Whitaker. Forrest Whitaker's a big black guy.
He's a samurai.
He's like a fucking ninja or some shit.
He's trying to be Blade. No.
Like these motherfuckers had a theme for every fucking Christmas. Black Knight, Ghost Dog, fucking assholes.
Oh, it was great.
All I know is that I remember seeing that movie, and I thought it was funny back in the time. I haven't seen it in years, man. That'd be great to see it again.
Like Martin Lawrence is funny, but like he's not good as a main star for anything. He's a good co-star.
I mean,
I don't know. Blue Streak's pretty good.
There's also that one on Netflix that's there right now.
I mean, unless we're gonna watch like marathon of like Martin, which I'm down for.
Wait, I'm trying to remember. There's this movie on Netflix right now. Police. He goes to a police academy. He fails out because he sucks and all that stuff. And he's with another cop that ends up losing a partner. What's the name? Like, oh my god, it's in the tip of my tongue. No, it's on Netflix right now.
Oh, Netflix.
I was watching it. I didn't get to finish it because I ended up just going to bed and stuff like that. But that'd be a good one to do because it looked funny to begin with. I was laughing.
We'll see if we can find it.
Let me see.
Where were we?
We were talking about the wives tripping through future, and how it just goes to shit. So mid conversation or mid like.
They split, right? I mean, they say like we'll make it better, but we're not gonna make it better.
We're like fuck,
but we promise we'll make it better.
Yeah, exactly. They realize we're fucking this up again, but let's go. Like it'll be okay.
But immediately their older self show up.
They show up
and kind of just come out and like wave at them like. How creepy is that? They're fucking old.
It did look a little weird. They kind of look like clowns,
and they fucking go.
Right? Yeah.
I love how casual they were. They're like, "Oh yeah, so our future selves are actually out there. We're just gonna go.
We're just gonna go."
And the lady's all like, "I think I need 3, no 4, no 5 days out of the week with you all." And they're like, "Okay." And
that's cool. Out. And oh wow, we haven't time traveled in like decades. And
the thing is that I don't know if this happens before or after the daughters actually start going to time.
National security. That's the one.
I've seen that one. Yeah,
national security.
Because this little,
I think it's
this little
like directly
detour in the plot, like starts there, and almost ends there. Like, but like we don't ever revisit that through the rest of the movie. The fact that
I mean, they do when the wives first leave.
No, I know when they first leave, yes, but I mean
through time,
yes, but I mean like where else? Like we don't see them until the very end of the movie.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the future wives?
The wives, yeah.
Yeah, it took me a little bit to realize that those wives that appeared is that what you guys talking about?
Yeah,
the beginning are the ones that left.
They're from
at that scene
Bill
at
and
the end
Ted's future where they survive and save everyone. That's where those two wives are from.
Okay.
Which is kind of funny because they're from like the correct future, and like they come back to try to help their past selves, and they can't. So like it's kind of funny how like that doesn't make fucking sense either, because they're not able to. That's when the shitty future happens, where you have dickhead Bill and Ted, but at the same time, like then how does their reality in particular exists?
See, that's the thing is we talked about like trying to logic our way out of it.
And so and that's when they go with the real easy fucking explanation. Oh well, like they're infinite pasts and infinite futures, and we're from the future that fucking survives.
Right.
And so that's where they come back. It's this fucking parallel universe bullshit. And because otherwise, like them trying to explain away that it's a fucking linear progression, forward and backwards through time. Doesn't make any sense.
We all know from Doctor Who, time is wobbly.
Wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey.
So they go, Bill and Ted, they talk to their wives, and then they end up going 5 years into the future where they land in like this big mansion, and they think that, well, wow,
we really made it. Like
this
we're making
best,
all this money, and like they meet
great.
They meet future them again, and they're dressed like
honestly,
like,
man,
they're dressed like Steve Tyler and fucking what the fuck is his name?
Roland. Since we spoke about the Mighty Boosh before, freaking Ted looked like something that Neil Finding Noah or whatever his name,
Vince Noir.
Yeah,
he had like Vince Noir pants or whatever.
Vince Noir pants. I was like, what the fuck are you wearing?
Pigtails and a top hat or whatever. I was gonna say he looked like fucking Keith Richards or some shit because he keeps doing the with his arms like.
He's wearing that top hat
and the locks,
right, and then they for some reason develop English accents, and they're like,
well, as to what they described, they went to England.
They started summering in medieval England.
It just stuck.
It just bloody well stuck. We picked it up. No.
So basically, I mean, they have a CD that has the song. They played from them. They think it's like the most beautiful song ever.
Oh man, this is
and the future Bill and Ted think they got this in the bag.
Right.
This is the song.
From the
like,
get-go, I was like, something's fishy about this.
Because like as present Bill and Ted are like fucking gushing about this, future Bill and Ted kind of like they keep like shooting glances at each other like yeah or whatever. Like the whole time like they're you know like
they're buying it, yeah.
morons. So yeah, they give them the CD. And
as they're leaving, they open the door to the front,
very
front
special
door,
guest in the movie.
and then they see that Dave Grohl is standing there. Dave Grohl says, "Like, what are you doing in my house?"
And they're like, "No!" They fucking close the door on him and run back to find
the door too.
Yeah,
they locked the door
to find
Dave
future
Grohl.
Bill and Ted, and like they're off in the closet or whatever. Like Bill takes off his wig. He's like bald as fuck.
Balding.
And like Ted like unzips his shirt and he's got like a monster. He's got like a monster beer gut and a very deep belly button and like and he's just like slapping it and scratching. He pulls out a bottle of vodka and just starts chugging.
And Ted, man,
and yeah,
you gotta stop chugging the vodka. And he just does it even more aggressively.
Like, he's like, yeah, I'm thirsty. For more vodka.
And also fucking Bill takes off that long
right, yeah. He takes off the lock. He has huge locks of hair and he's bald as fuck. And
he has like Donald Trump hair.
Yeah,
pretty much.
And so President Bill and Ted walk in on him. They're like, "You dicks, you twerked us," you know. And he throws the CD on the ground. Like, "I thought you were famous." I'm like, "No, we weren't, you assholes." Like, it's even worse now.
And they have the nerve to say, "You guys that wrote the music, you guys are talking to yourselves."
And they're like, "We made really bad." They left us because we made really bad life choices, like this one. And then Bill pulls a gun and points it at the present thems, and they're like, "What are you doing?" Like, "Yes, you're gonna take that CD." "No, we're not." Like, "Yes, you will." And he
I like how they say, "You don't have to point the gun at us." And he's like, "Oh yeah, well if I don't point the gun at us, look what's gonna happen." He points it down.
He points it down. They try to turn away. He's like, run away. Like, "Oh, you're right."
I mean, so basically, if Bill was gonna kill his past self, then he would not exist.
Right, exactly. So they can't anyway.
Like, you can't hurt them.
Which is what ties into the next scene when they meet themselves again. Because what happens is that they escape or try to escape.
Well, let's talk about the way they escape.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
Funny stuff.
That I didn't get that at first, and then I ended up seeing the movie again. I was like, oh, that's dumb as fuck. But I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
But it worked.
Yeah, it worked.
Well, to a degree, because
Yeah.
like really, they would have known when they stopped. When they stopped realizing that they can't see, like at one point they would have remembered what happened after they did
because
something.
they kept like intercepting each other. So basically, they put buckets on their heads, so they wouldn't know what was happening.
Knew what the past thems were doing until they
Oh my god!
they did something
In a dumb,
that would make it so that
ass move, they put
so that they wouldn't
start
know
spinning, so they don't know what
doing.
the fuck's
Yeah, and then
going
they
on.
fucking fall off the second floor balcony. And like face plant on the ground, and so like them taking the buckets off their head, I would have said that, you know, the future thems would have known. Okay, that's what happens. Like we fall off the fucking.
So basically, they would have bought themselves
like genius, dumb
a few
level
minutes.
stuff.
Seconds maybe.
Yeah, well, maybe a few minutes, maybe like however it took them to fall off the fucking
give them the
balcony.
minutes.
Yeah.
And so, like,
so during this, the dad, Ted's dad,
Dave
and
Grohl
little
calls
brother,
the cops, right?
Yeah.
And then like
He called
SWAT
the cops.
shows up. or some
SWAT,
shit.
and then you see Ted's dad, because I was like, why
Ted's
is
dad and
SWAT
Deacon-
coming? It's just like a
Deacon
breaking and entering
also show up.
situation. And it turns out the dad's like, we're gonna stop him. I'm tired of all this craziness.
Ted's dad wants to flat out murder them both. He's like, I'm tired of this
he's
shit. He
done,
starts taking
man.
his gun out, and Deacon's like, "Dad, just chill. Let me like,
I
take
do
care of
appreciate
this."
how the little brother was like just trying to like do it chill. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like I like at least Ted still had his little brother.
Well,
help
we
him
have
out
to remember the fact is that in the first one, I mean, whether Deacon believed Napoleon was real or not, I mean, he did take care of this fucking person, stranger, dressed as Napoleon for like a couple of days or like a day or two.
Yeah.
And I mean, he might still say like, well, Ted's not completely out of his mind, maybe. Because I don't know if he ever, I remember in the first one if he ever actually saw them go in the booth and fucking disappear.
I don't think he did.
No, I don't think he
just
did.
knows that they brought a guy small.
Yeah.
And of course they did
Dressed
ditch
like
him because he
Napoleon.
was a dick.
Yeah, because Napoleon's a dick.
But yeah, so they do call the cops, And but before we get into what happens next with that situation, that's when they go to the
future. Where the elders are.
Yeah, they meet their last versions of themselves. Yeah.
Kelly is no. What I mean in the future is that this next plot device is that Kelly goes to talk to her mother, which is the elder one or the eldest one, the great elder. I don't know what she is.
But she's like she's the elder.
Rudy's wife. I think they called her the elder leader.
It was Rudy's wife. And
Rufus.
Wow.
Rudy. Rudy.
Are we talking about the movie Rudy? With
Rudy's
Sean
Barbecue
Astin?
sounds good though.
That movie.
Rudy.
Stop that shit.
Fuck, that movie's a good movie.
That movie's garbage.
You want to cry?
Not, dude.
You want to cry. That's right.
Every high school showed that movie. Probably not anymore, but
horrible.
Showed it. And Blue October.
I think it was.
Oh no, that's a band. Hold on. What's it called?
Blue October.
I think you're talking about.
That one with the fucking. It's the one with the fucking rocket. Seriously, I did like that band in middle school.
So Rufus's wife,
yes,
Kelly's mom, is trying to figure out how they can have a backup plan because she's like, man, these guys are fucking idiots. Like, I can't. Like, why should we rely on them?
Yeah, are they like watching them through some kind of like weird?
Yeah, they're
television?
Excuse me.
It looks like a projector or some kind, just looking at the status of like
the universe
fabric of time.
Oh, right.
And stuff.
And it's all funky.
And as things starts getting worse, they know
it
like
looked weird because it looked like it was the Earth, and then it just looked like
a solar system.
Yeah.
So I guess it just kind of was like that different time zones. But I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, that could be it.
Something like that. But so that's what she tells Kelly. She tells Kelly that. Well, like there's a rumor. What does she say? Like it's a little known possible like antithesis to the prophecy that if we kill Bill and Ted, like the reality will be saved or whatever.
Which the Kelly disagrees with. Like
she's like fuck what? No, I love them. I hate you. Why? Where's Dad? Damn it.
Also, probably Rufus had a really good relationship with his daughter as well. If she's like very defensive,
but Kelly's mom's a bitch.
Well, I think she just like believes like she doesn't think that her dad.
She's more practical.
She doesn't think that Rufus was completely off.
100%
right. Yeah, Rufus
was.
Rufus is very like devout to the.
But what's funny is that they bring that up as if I don't know if like Rufus was the main. Proponent or like the main champion of Bill and Ted, but he was just the one that went to go back and help him. But the elders in part one knew that Bill and Ted were the ones that made the music and like
they kind of might have changed.
Yeah, because we don't necessarily know the origin of the prophecy.
So this could have been another one of those infinite futures. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it wasn't the future from Bogus Journey. It was just a different one.
To the conclusion of the movie, which I don't want to go on right now. I guess it's just like a big, impactful situation that happens across space and time.
Right, exactly. It was one of the futures that fucks all the other ones.
Like all of that happened all at the same time.
So it's very likely that there was another future.
I'll delve into like once we get to there because I don't want to like jump ahead of the whole movie. But
so what happens is
that's how you pinpoint it. You know,
they send like a fucking Dragon Ball Z knockoff looking robot. Like he looks,
which is I think I've read somewhere people kind of like were neutral on the robot. I think he's hilarious.
It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. He was just so awkward.
Exactly.
With what he did and his actions.
So they send this murder bot back in time to find Bill and Ted.
He looked so badass. Like the introduction he turned on.
Right, yeah. He looked
freaking portal. The way he portaled, looked like he opened up wings like if it was an angel or something like that.
Yeah.
Dude, it looked fucking badass. And then you see him like actually do stuff and it's like
he's got like this wrist mounted laser cannon.
Your ass is awkward as fuck.
And so he finds
well, I mean when he comes to the mansion when he first appears and he throws out the fucking
Death beam of death.
The flame beam or whatever.
You take out.
Okay, so we're back where we have Ted and Bill and Ted. I don't know why I started with Ted. It's so weird. Bill and Ted jump off of the second
story balcony. Yeah, they fall out the fucking mansion.
They get ready to leave, and then you see the robot.
Ted's
pull
dad
out his gun or beam or whatever. He shoots, but they disappear just like that. And guess who gets shot?
Right, Ted's dad, and the van, the police van. They both get sent to hell. Like that's the next scene. You see fucking
and then we
Ted's
get a
dad
glimpse of our man Death.
Fucking falling through the portal of hell, and right behind him is the police van.
That was actually kind of cool. The way Death
that was a cool intro. And yeah, Death is there. He just fucking slowly points at him.
I was like, dude, that looked fucking cool.
What's great is right after that, the robot kind of just has that.
Yeah, he has like that awkward
yeah, that's where we get our first
he just looks around
look at his manner. He's just like,
right. You're thinking like, oh, he's gonna be a robot, and no, like he's just like this awkward fucking teenager
like or some shit. Synthetic human robot, android, pretty much.
He's a huge dork.
And so now from there we move over to I believe Kelly going to where they live. And the daughters get their first glimpse of, or I guess second glimpse, because he saw Bill and
They
Ted
saw Kelly leave with them, and then she comes back.
And then they go and ask, like, hey, where's our dads, or whatever.
Right. And so Kelly explains the situation.
Our second adventure begin with those two characters.
So
basically, they pretty much convinced Kelly just to show us how this little
I feel like Kelly just wasn't caring right now. She was just she was preoccupied with just trying to see like, okay, I can't let these two die.
Yeah,
I need to stay here. Doesn't matter what happens with this device. Kelly was just like fully not trying to get.
And there's no hesitation from the daughters either. They're just like, let's just go and do this. Like
they went for it.
We need to help our dads.
Show us how to do it. So they picked up on a time machine like this.
Like I mean, if it was as easy as them doing a touchstone phone number.
I mean, we saw Bill and Ted trying to get.
They looked through a phone book.
We can at least say that it has some difficulty to it, at least to their mental capacity.
Yeah. So that's when we sort of have like the plot of the first movie come in, where Billy and Thea go back in time and start meeting. Famous musicians. And who did they start with?
They started with Jimi Hendrix. They started with Jimmy, but Jimmy was just not about
Jimmy's like, you bitches are crazy. Leave me alone.
Yeah, you bitches are crazy.
Like, anyway. So basically
I got some weed over here.
They go back further to get a young Louis Armstrong.
Right, because they're like, okay, how can we convince Jimi Hendrix to like come with us? And like, let's get one of his influences.
I love that Louis Armstrong. They jump back to the
20s.
They just flat out pulled out an iPhone and showed.
Right. So like that's something.
Jimi Hendrix.
That's another thing that sort of carries over from the first Bill and Ted. All of the historical figures, like they're very matter of fact. Like, oh shit, you're from the future. Oh wow, cool stuff. Like I like this. Like they're very like accommodating and just like chill about the whole thing. Because they give fucking Louis Armstrong the
hey boys, come here.
They give him an iPhone and show him a video of Jimi Hendrix playing. Like, look, this is what happens, And they're like, fuck, that's cool.
I love that scene. That was awesome.
And like they instantly convince him. They're like, all right, I'm going with you. And so they take him to meet Jimi Hendrix. Mm-hmm. And at first Jimi Hendrix is like, motherfuckers,
this fake Louis Armstrong out of here.
Goddamn,
told you we should have gone
impersonator. This guy would have been in his 60s or some shit right now. And then all of a sudden, like Armstrong pulls a trumpet out of nowhere and just plays it
out of the air, man. He had no trumpet at all.
And like Jimmy just turns around with like a fucking smile on his face, like, okay.
All right.
And off he goes.
The next scene is probably like one of my favorite parts of the movie.
That was cool. It was a good scene.
Part.
Yeah.
So
they go back.
Jimmy and Louis joined the team, joined the band that the girls are starting to set up because they know that the dads need to make the most like the song to save the universe.
Yeah.
And time and space and all that stuff. So next up is Mozart, which we start hearing playing his music, and Jimmy pops out the guitar, starts playing with him, and it was just like an awesome piece of the movie. And the song itself was a song I've heard before. It's a pretty cool one. It's a Marriage of Figaro. And I
would not have pulled that name out, but I'm glad you know it, Jerry.
Yeah, well, it's because I recognized the song. And I was like, wait, I know this song. At first I said, is it called The Bride of Figaro? No, it's The Marriage of Figaro.
Oh, okay.
And it's a really, really good one.
Yeah,
but I think it's one of Mozart's like well-known.
Yes.
Well, yeah, people hear it. They might not know the name.
They'll recognize
myself,
it.
But if I hear it, I'm like, oh yeah, I've heard that many times.
I like it. I mean, I guess it's really nice, fast-paced and everything. But like Jimi Hendrix playing along with him was just fucking cool.
So yeah, to get Wolfie's attention,
dude, and his face when he was like, "Who the fuck's playing?"
Yeah, he's playing inside on his piano, and then Jimi Hendrix is like, "I got this," and he just like plugs his guitar, I guess, into the time machine. Like
nice that the time machine had like amps and everything like that.
And so,
well, shit, if it didn't, you go like, give us a minute. They come back, fucking
yeah, they could have had a setup like a fucking whole
stage Marshall stack there and shit.
He probably had Marshall speakers.
Where's the plug?
To that.
Where's the plug?
You go, where's the power go? This thing is traveling through time like it's full of power.
Yeah,
it is the power.
Solar. All right, whatever.
It's solar power.
So yeah, like Mozart's playing, and then like he hears Jimi Hendrix start like I guess playing like harmonizing
basically,
with him.
He's just playing along, basically.
Yeah, and that's when I don't know, like necessarily if he starts feeling like challenged or he's like, oh, this sounds cool, I'm gonna keep going.
He kind of feels a little.
I think he was a little. He's like, huh, yeah,
and then he starts going playing faster, and Jimmy is just keeping up like with no
the whole
problem
time.
at all.
And so then when he's done, he comes outside and he's like, what the fuck is this? And then Jimi Hendrix is like, hey man, nice to meet you. Like, I'm a big fan.
And so we have Mozart join,
like
just like that. You win Mozart over by music, so
yeah.
Apparently.
So and
who's the next person they go pick up?
So I don't. It was that lady with the flute,
the Asian lady.
Yeah. So like they go.
I don't know who that is.
They go to like
I don't know who that is either, but
1,000
we
years
have
something
now
AD
Mozart
China.
winner over by quickly playing one of his pieces on
her
the flute. And the lady's all like, ooh. She does, and I'm saying like she doesn't say anything. She's just
so
like,
this is another thing that carries over from the first
no words
movie.
were spoken. It's just like
they all speak different languages, but they understand each other.
Yeah.
Well, like the thing is, I didn't hear her speak. She was just like being like,
no, she does. Her name was Ling Lun.
I think she was laughing.
She speaks Chinese to Mozart, and he responds in German. Also, when he meets Jimi Hendrix, he speaks to him in German, and Jimmy responds in English.
In English, yeah.
And so they're just like, okay,
they just
cool.
like randomly
they just understand each other, you know. Yeah. And so like, yeah, Mozart plays like a couple of notes.
The universal language, which is music, bro.
Right.
Yeah, that's exactly why they were each like winning them over. And then we have Mozart again. Chase down our last
so they go to 11,000 BC and apparently to find the best drummer in the world, which is this which was this
a caveman looking fella.
Oh, it was
some woman.
Grom.
Yeah.
Grom up there. Right on
the
name.
Oh, there it is. Patty Ann Miller plays Grom.
Grom.
Which like that was cool. Like they just walk in and are playing like some bone drums and
it was fucking hilarious. Like she's like fucking
bass
going
pedal.
She had a bass. I was like, what are you doing for the pedal? What is going on?
Oh, it's fucking. It's just bone upon skin upon.
Yeah,
it must be like some kind of like weird bison skin.
She sees Mozart in the gang. She
just runs. Yeah, and he's like, no, wait, no. Nine.
I was like, don't go, Mozart, you're gonna get shot.
Yeah.
With an arrow.
No, but so like that they recruit her, and I think this is when it sort of goes back into Bill and Ted's story.
Where they meet their next future selves.
How far ahead at this point? It's so the first time it's 2
years. Isn't it like
5 years?
No, it wasn't 40 years. That would have made them really old.
That was the last.
Maybe like another 10 years.
Another 10 years.
I think they go like.
But
like
I mean, my favorite Bill and Ted there.
So
we go to a prison.
Yeah, the telephone box drops them off right in the middle of a prison yard.
Right in the middle of a prison yard.
And you just hear some like really angry metal / like chain gang kind of music playing.
Well, it's just chanting basically. Right?
Yeah, but like then you hear like they're pounding or whatever like on the ground.
Yeah, it's like a goddamn football game. Man.
Very fucking Viking. You know, it sounds like they're getting ready for battle, dude.
And so Bill and Ted walk up to them,
They slowly walk up and we see two shadowy, buff ass fucking figures.
Write it out, motherfuckers.
Shut the fuck up. That's not gonna be Bill and Ted. And that was Bill and Ted. Fucking ripped to
covering
heaven and
tats and shit, and angry as fuck looking. Bill
being bigger than Ted.
Bill looks like a fucking like a WWF wrestler or some
mini
shit.
Hulk,
like,
dude.
yeah.
And he had tattoos all over his face.
Ted has like excellent tattooed on his chest.
But I guess Bill is completely bald, but Ted has like this weird mohawk.
Right,
yeah.
Sides of his head are shaved. And he's got like a full lumberjack beard going on.
I can see you sporting that when you're like in your 50s, dude.
I was like, that was rolling 2.0. We already said 2 years in the future.
All right, so like
Ted was rolling right now.
I'm not gonna lie. I've had that haircut before where I shaved the sides of my head, and this was long.
He wants to go for the mullet.
This was
anyways, it
was awesome. All right.
Bill had a bunch of tattoos, man. Like on his head. He had one like right in the middle of his
It's
forehead.
funny like how they refer to each other because like Ted calls like present him like pretty boy, and Bill calls present him curly. Because he's bald as fuck. And they're angry. They're just like, so what did you think of the music? What did you think of our song? And they're like, it was just kind of dark. Like,
yeah, guys. Actually, you know what? I think we're gonna have to get out of here.
Is that music?
And
yes.
And do this and that. And then, dude,
like,
they're in a gang.
You're not going anywhere
because they get their prison mates to freaking circle Bill and Ted.
Yeah. They corner them.
And then we get our good friend, the robot,
show up. Yep.
And what happened?
So like. The robot, like, faces President Bill and Ted, and it's like, we gotta kill you, or I have to destroy you, and that's when future Bill and Ted are like, oh, but if they die, we die. No way, they go and they beat the shit.
They realize that right
they beat the shit out of the robot. They're like, you're not doing shit. And as they're just kicking him on the ground, you just hear the robot like and then at one point, like the robot says, "That wasn't a song." They're just kicking on him again.
I like how it also goes into the future, and we see the high commander or whatever, and she's like, "Get up, you're a robot."
Just beating the shit out of him, and so President Bill and Ted use that like chance to break away and escape.
Get out
to get the hell out of there. That's when future Bill and Ted chase after him like, no.
Well, originally the prison Bill and Ted weren't gonna let him go because they wanted to leave.
Right? They were like, we're gonna go and fix our lives.
We're gonna leave
because they're pissed that when Dave Grohl like came back home and like. Brought all the cops. They got arrested and went to jail.
Yeah,
so they're like,
you left us there.
Like, where the fuck else were they gonna take you? You dumb shits. Like,
to be fair,
and also you had a gun.
Yeah, Bill was firing at himself.
You fucking assholes.
Like they want them to save them, even though they were attempting to almost kill them.
What were they trying to like maim them or like? It's
he was trying to do something to them.
Just kneecap him. It's cool. He'll survive. Like, shoot him in the foot.
My God, that was a crazy funny scene though. I liked it. And then after that, what is it? The robot gets out and he gets ordered to just wait at their house or something like that. Or what was it?
I think so. This is where I haven't seen it in a few like days, so I'm kind of fuzzy on what happens after that.
I think
where they actually like everyone like meets up.
Before we go into that,
no, but they meet up because like.
Yeah, I know.
So he's at the house waiting. I guess the girls finish collecting everybody because they pick up,
and that's when they come back to their present. Yes,
and they come back to the present. So then we
meet up with Kelly.
We find Kelly. That's right, and she talks about how there's a death robot going after their dad.
Right,
and stuff
because
like
she's talking to her mom, and their mom's telling her like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna kill them all. I hope you're okay with that." And Kelly's like, "What? No, what? I don't. Why?
Why?" Like Kelly was really defending them.
Right.
So then the girls proceed to start.
They go into the house. Right. They go into the garage,
and then Deathbeam
and Deathbot is there, and he just kills. Everybody.
And I like how everyone was just like practically in a straight line.
Jimi Hendrix, Louis Armstrong, all of them fucking die. Like instantly. Yeah. Sent straight to hell.
And then I love his reaction. What was it? How did he go? He's like,
oh yeah. He's like, oh,
Because he caught everybody.
Like he starts like the robot starts panicking. He's like, oh no.
Dude, I swear that robot was cold, man. Oh my god,
it was great.
And then that's when Bill and Ted finally go and meet their old selves.
So what happens is that they're like, let's go even further into the future, and they go.
Do we see the group in hell first before that?
No, we don't know.
So what happens is like they all go down there.
Yeah.
They don't even know. Like it's not really explained. They just get cooked and that's it.
Yeah, we don't see them necessarily going to hell.
We'll find out in this next scene. But before we go into that,
where did we leave off?
We left off with Billy and Tia and the band and Kelly getting fucking killed.
Okay, so now we have Bill and Ted
going to the future again. And this time they're like, fuck it. Like let's just go to the end of our lives. So they go and they meet themselves like old as fuck already, like on their deathbeds. And that is that's the second and only time you see the start of, which is what I said, because we originally described two separate trips. You have Billy and Thea going back in time to meet all the historical musicians, and you have Bill and Ted going to the future to meet themselves over and over.
Meet themselves with the intention of stealing the song.
Right. And so the third, which is really like as Ray said, an after poop storyline, is the wives going and back in time to meet themselves to try to fix things. Or
to find a universe where they're happy with
exactly
Bill and Ted, which they don't.
They don't, but the thing is, like, they leave from a universe where they are happy. Like they meet present Bill and Ted meet future Bill and Ted in this point, and they've won. They have created the perfect song. They have fixed time, and like they're happy and successful and all that shit. So you see present Bill and Ted go into the room to meet their future selves, and they look over and they see a picture of themselves with their wives, and they're like, oh, they made it, and that's when future Bill is like, yes and no, and then you see behind them their future wives jumping into the telephone booth and jumping back in time. So like that was the beginning of their little side story,
right? Which
really has like 3 scenes, and this being, I guess, the last one, because after this is when the story culminates in the reality saving event or whatever. But so they go, President Bill and Ted go in there and they meet themselves, successful and just happy and just very cheerful and shit. And so like, oh fuck, we did it. Like we found the right time period. And future them are like, yeah, you did. Like, hey, how's it going? Like, here's the song. And they play a few seconds of it, and you just hear like this fucking like epic rock harmonizing guitar kind of thing playing in the background, and they're like, "Oh, that sounds great." And then Ted's just like, "Blip." Future Ted is like, "Blip." He stops it, like, "Oh yeah, okay, look, you've heard enough." And they hand him an MP46 with the song on it. They hand it to Future Bill hands it to
What is an
President
MP46, Roman?
What is an MP46? I assume it's the latest version of an MP4. Obviously better than an MP3.
Yeah.
And I assume better than an MPEG. So
and the MP5, the gun.
So
yeah, they give it to him. Isn't that where it's like labeled?
It's labeled on the back, Preston and Logan. It's Preston / Logan, MP46.
Right.
And so it just looks like a fucking flash drive that they give him.
Right.
And that's when they have like more of like anytime President Bill and Ted interact with their future selves, like the dialogue is fucking hilarious. And this is no exception.
Because they treat each other like different people.
They're different people, exactly. Like Present Ted speaks to future Ted, and he's like, man, I never got to know you. Like I wish
they speak to them to themselves like they're long lost friends,
right?
Yeah.
Exactly,
that they haven't seen in a long time,
and future
which is technically true,
right? It is.
I mean, that would make sense if it was Bill speaking to future Ted and Ted speaking to future Bill.
Okay, so the only reason any of this makes any sense is because of the story itself. Like they're going and meeting themselves, you know, like if they were meeting other people, obviously that'd be something different. Like it makes sense, but it's also silly, you know? And so future Ted is like, yeah, I wish I had opened up to you, you know, like I wish I had spoken to you more or whatever kind of thing. And like, but you're really cool. Like I'm very grateful, you know, and kind of thing. And catch you later, future Ted. It's like, peace. And, you know, future Bill is like, man, I'm so sorry. Speaking to present Ted, that, you know, like that I wasn't there for you. And present Bill is like, no, dude, like you were always there. Like you never, you never made any mistakes. And like he takes the thumb drive or whatever, and they hug each other. And they leave. And that's when future Ted and future Bill look at each other and they're like, those were nice boys.
Dude, I lost it at that part. Those were some nice boys.
And so they leave and they just sort of walk into like a little, like I guess like a pavilion or whatever outside the room. And that's when the fucking
realization that their booth is gone.
Right, the booth is gone. And they're like, fuck, what do we do? And that's when the robot shows up to, I guess, you know, try to kill them finally.
To finish his task.
Right.
I'm here to kill you. And then they're like, wait, we got it.
We've got it. We've got the song.
We've got the song.
And the thing is that the elders are looking through the robot's eyes this whole time. And they're like, oh, fuck, he's like, we're saved. You know, like, don't kill them. And the robot's like, oh, shit. You know, like, all right, I won't. But, like,
I got some apologies to make. Yes, again, going back to this robot is hilarious.
And they're like, what? Like, no, hold on. Like, so I kind of lasered your daughters.
You what?
Yeah. My bad. And they're like, so where are they? Like, really?
They're in hell.
They're in hell. You sent them to hell? I'm sorry. You know, like, all right, dude. You know, so President Bill and Ted are like, all right, we need to fix this. Kill us. Send us to hell. And they're like, I can't. Like, you have the song. And that's when Bill fucking breaks the flash drive. He snaps in half. Like, now what, bitch? Like, kill us. And then the robot is like, I can no longer kill.
He's like, malfunction.
No,
he tries to do, I'm gonna kill myself.
I'm gonna kill myself. Goodbye, cruel world. And that's when President Bill and Ted jump on him and they just explode and they all die.
Which we get a quick glimpse at the current timeline, Joanna and Elizabeth seeing that they died because they came back, the older versions of themselves with the younger ones.
They bring them to the future.
And they see that happen.
Right.
And that's the last we see of them until later on.
Until the culmination of the story.
Of the movie. So then we finally get a chance
sent to hell.
Hell, which we see Bill and Ted land.
Yep. They land, you know, they're just standing there or whatever, right?
And
then the robot face plants right behind them.
To which they're like,
what?
Why is he
You're
here?
a robot. Like, what? Okay, whatever.
You know, it's hilarious. I think that's maybe like a callback to Bogus Journey where Death face plants.
Death, when they come back to life and Death comes with them and he just fucking eats the dirt, whatever. I absolutely think that was was an homage to that. And so that's when the robot gets up and he's like, can I come with you guys? And they're like, fuck.
But then he introduces himself.
Right. What's his name, dude?
And his name, he's like,
my name is Dennis
McCoy.
Dennis Caleb McCoy. Like, okay. And he's super annoying and super clingy the whole time. He tells him his first and his last name. And they're like, okay, dude, like, as they're walking up the stairs to the portal of hell.
But before they do, he's all like, you killed our daughters. Why would you let us join us? And then Bill's all like, well, I mean, he did bring us to hell. So.
Right, yeah. Like,
and then Ted's all
he
like,
didn't kill us.
All right, come along.
The fact that they're trying to reconcile the fact that he did kill them, but they're like, oh, he brought us to hell.
Yeah.
The worst place imaginable.
Exactly. Like, what?
Yeah.
No, but we need this. And so.
Yeah. So they do meet up with their daughters.
Right. Yeah.
And
they
all
go
the,
in there. All the musicians
are there.
And.
So
and what's his face? Mr. Nancy.
Speak on this.
Too.
I know it's been a long time since the second movie, but when we first got to see hell in the second movie, it was just a very small aspect of it that we got to see.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
It was like a mechanical place with a big demon.
Right. Yeah, they were like
and
boiler
inside of that box that he was standing over was just a box of rooms. But in this iteration of the movie, it's been
the
times
biblical
since the
hell.
movie. It seemed more like the biblical hell, where we see like mounds of fire, brimstone, red skies, people falling from the sky, demons flying around. Like we actually got to see like a scary ass version.
I mean, you do see a little bit of that.
It doesn't seem to like affect them in any way.
No,
none at all.
Yeah,
they're just like, all right, so let's go look for
whatever,
our daughters and stuff. They just go in.
There's a little bit of that in Bogus Journey.
Characters.
When they first get there, they land on like a rock platform, and then they see flames around them, and like the platform gets pulled towards sort of like a demonish looking
which they
talking
call
door.
What did they call him? I was gonna say Basil Gears, like from Monster Hunter,
Devil Dude or shit like that.
Devil Dude,
oh my God.
Mr. Satan.
Mr. Satan was so it's the one with the flies, the Lord of Flies.
I thought that was Beelzebub.
Well, they called him Beelzebub. There you go. Thank you, Beelzebub. Beelzebub, they have a bad rep for you, man. Whatever, and then he does all that shit to them. What does he say in the second movie? He's like, "Oh, you deserve it." Whatever. After all that shit,
yeah.
So they go and they talk to some demons that are there, and they're like, oh, like they show them a picture. For some reason, they still got their fucking iPhones or whatever.
The
they
phones made it to hell too. Yeah.
They show them a picture of their daughters and like, did you see these guys around? And like these two demons are like, oh yeah, they're right over there, dude.
They look like worker
like
demons.
they're super nice. Like
they're like
helpful.
so nice, yeah.
And then like you see Dennis like sort of shuffle behind him, and the demons are like, well, that's kind of strange. Like,
is that a robot?
Is that a robot? Why is a robot here? All right, whatever.
The fact that two demons said that was kind of strange.
Yeah, and so they run into Kelly, and Kelly's on the phone with her mom again. Like, why the fuck? They've got the phone and it works.
And it works in hell. She's dead. She has the phone.
And so like she's talking to her mom like, I hope you're happy, Mom. You sent me to hell. Like you killed me. Like you fucked everything up. And then they, Bill and Ted see her and they're like, where's Billy and Thea? And she's like, oh, they're right around the corner. Like, oh, okay, cool.
And then just like happy as shit, just shoveling away and stuff.
Right, yeah. But
and then we get to see Dennis.
Dennis sees
shuffle along.
Dennis walks up to Kelly and he's like, hi, like he's trying to introduce himself. She's like, no. She's like, go away, kind of thing. And then, what does it say? Like he tells her his name.
Yeah, he tells her name, and then that's when she's
like, my name's Dennis K. McCoy. And then she gets back on the phone with her mom. She's like, you named him after my ex-boyfriend, Mom. Like, really? And like you just like you see the Dennis shuffling away, and you hear Kelly yelling at him, get out of here! Like, and yeah. So then they go and they find Billy and Thea. Like they're just like randomly shoveling some dirt around with all the rest of the musicians and Mr. Nancy there kind of thing. And so Ted and his dad have a reconciliation in hell.
Yeah.
Like there's like his dad has a monologue.
It took them both going to hell for like the
right for him to like after how old would you say Bill and Ted are in this movie? Like late 40s, early 50s?
They're probably either late 40s.
I feel like they'd be verging on 40 around there.
So let's say they're 18 in 91.
Like okay,
or 89 or something.
Yeah.
So what? That's
it's 20 years, 25 years that they've been trying to do the Wild Stallions thing on top of like Ted's. On top of Ted's entire life of his dad giving him shit. And so his dad has
they're probably like mid to late 40s.
His dad has like a 2 or 3 minute monologue where he's like, I finally understand. Like you did go back in time.
Keanu's a lot younger than I thought then, because I was thinking at least.
Well, Keanu's like in his 50s.
Yeah, he's in his 50s. Like,
so young.
Yeah, motherfucker's immortal. And
Still
so
kicks ass. That's fucking John
yeah,
Wick.
I mean, like wait for the fucking next Matrix movie to come out. He's in there somehow, kind of thing. Like the one is still the one. But so yeah, his father has like a little heart to heart with him. He's like, yeah, you did go back in time. Like your wives are princesses, and I understand you're supposed to save the world, and it took me going to hell to realize that kind of thing. And then
much, yeah.
Bill and Ted are like, well, actually, like we need to save like. Well, we need to bring world peace and save reality. And his dad is like, oh,
That's a new one.
That's a new
That's
one.
new,
Like,
right?
yeah.
They're like, yeah.
And then like Mr. Nancy is like, I was talking to Ted, Bill, not you. So, like, and that's when he goes in for the hug with Ted, and they're like, okay, cool, yay, let's go find Death. And so they go.
Yeah. So this is when we meet
find fucking Death
again. And he's playing tetherball with himself.
He's playing tetherball. Was playing tetherball at the time they run into him. He's playing hopscotch against himself.
Oh, that's
and
right.
He
He's
was
playing
like,
hopscotch.
he was like, he was talking to himself. His back is facing him. He's like
He's cheating, too.
75 out of 103 or some shit. Like he's losing
To himself.
To himself. And so he's doing hopscotch, and they're watching
I kind
him.
of feel bad for him because I kind of was. I feel like that was supposed to imply like a kind of a lonely feeling.
Yeah, no, he
Yeah,
is.
he's
Sad
depressed.
feelings.
Like, he's a
Depressed,
tragic.
man.
He's a bum.
And I was just like, man, I feel bad for him.
Yeah.
Someone
Because
go
he
be his
misses his friends.
He misses the
his
Wild
friend.
Stallions. Yeah, because he never had. So he basically never had fucking friends before Bill and Ted.
Yeah.
And
Outstanding
the
dude.
fucking Angel of Death. So they're watching him and they're like, he's playing hopscotch. He's totally cheating.
He's totally cheating.
He's fucking cheating against himself. And so they go up to him, and that's when like he's playing sort of tetherball or ending it or whatever, the game of
Yeah.
tetherball against himself. He just gets like wanged in the back of the head
Right.
with it.
I mean, so let's explain the relationship between, as quickly as we can, between Death and Bill and Ted. So basically,
Death was obviously, if you recall this Bogus Journey, the bassist.
yes, he was.
So like he rounded out the band. The wives were
we never got to find out what happened to the station robots.
Yeah. that's
no,
what-
and there's
we never
only
got to
one
find out what happened to
reference.
stations.
There's only one reference in the whole movie to Station at all, and it's more of like a callback, a
They say
call out.
Station, right?
Yeah, exactly. Kid Cudi is like, he's explaining to Bill and Ted how they can fix everything, and as they're going off, like he just yells out "Station," which is awesome.
People were when I read Reddit, people were saying that he is the stations. Kid Cudi was the
Fuck
stations.
yeah, that's a cool idea.
And I was like,
that.
all right, I can roll with that. He was speaking a bunch of physics and stuff.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
exactly. He was the Kid Cudi's the fucking scientist of this movie.
Yeah, I feel like he might have been the stations, especially because of that. But I'm not heavily confirmed in the movie at all. So that's just like a theory, I guess.
So Bill and Ted confront Death, and they try to convince him, like, hey, dude, you're the one that fucked up. Like you tried to steal the name Wild Stallions, and Death is like, but I am Wild Stallions. Like it's they were there for me, and they're like, dude, you had like 40-minute bass solos.
Yeah.
Like,
to which Death was like really riding them hard, dude. He was like, they were there for me.
they
'cause
loved
you guys
it.
Didn't do good
you
stuff.
never played with
They
us.
came
You never
around,
played with
and
me. I
that's
was
why
like,
had to
well,
play,
dude,
keep up the band. He was
you
pretty
had a
much saying,
solo, like,
you
we
guys were
couldn't-
doing such a terrible job at it that I had to keep the
carry-
show.
He had
Yeah.
to carry
That's
the
pretty much
fame
what he
went
was
to his
implying.
head.
So I was just like, man, I mean, at some point they were kind of going downhill. So what if he did have a point when he said that?
Well,
Or
I
did
mean,
they
you
start
can,
going downhill
well,
because
the
he
thing
left?
is, as Death, as we know him as a cheater.
Yeah.
I mean, you can also assume the other fact is that like he just had a big ego.
Yeah.
And he thought he was the star of the show.
He is kind of, yeah.
I mean, he is the angel of death.
Right, yeah.
And he did try to screw him over multiple times.
Yep.
And in fact, he fucking cheats himself.
Right.
So I mean,
So
you
It
can
throws anything that he does into question.
Yeah,
Anything that he says
you can
is
assume,
suspect.
Yeah, you can assume that either he felt they were going downhill, so he had to save them.
Right.
But I think personally, he just had a huge ego because
He
people
does.
probably cheered for him.
He does. And
And
you know
he
what?
never
You
has
know what?
friends,
It
you
is.
know, so-
It is kind of expected,
All
or
right,
not.
all right.
Not necessarily expected, but understandable. Again, he's the angel of death. Like he's kind of a big deal.
I mean, he was around during the biblical times. I mean, he had to go kill the firstborn in Egypt.
He will be there at the end of time.
He was a legend already. Who are these two fucking guys? He's carrying them, you know. So he's making them famous. They just whooped
his ass in Battleship and Twister and Clue. These fucking nobodies. Death just sucks. He's
well, I mean,
they argue and they're going back and forth, saying,
and that's when Death pouts and just sort of stomps off,
wrong and stuff like that. And so they pretty much leave the room, and then the two daughters step in.
They step in. Thea and Billy are like, "Let us handle this." Because
they kind of sweeten up the deal in making Death feel a little bit better.
Well, because the thing is that like they appeal to him or they come to him as fans. Mm-hmm. Like they aren't only fans of their fathers; they're actually actual fans of Death.
His ego,
right? But in a way that isn't like it's not conceited. Like they are genuine, and Death like feeling. You know, fucking vulnerable and sensitive.
They are genuine
again. Like death feels like he was betrayed and left out, and like just that he wasn't important. You know, like his ego took a big hit, and like he's not used to that kind of shit. Like he's used to being in charge and like you know, just being at the fucking top of the pecking order. You know, and so I think when they kicked him out. And sued his ass. Like he got a hell of a reality check, and like it's taken him that long. Like he's still dealing with the fallout from that. Like he's still trying to cope with the fact that like he fucked up, or rather, like he still hasn't accepted it.
Like, yeah, he hasn't come to terms with the fact that he's the one that outed himself.
Like he screwed himself over, exactly. Yeah. And so.
And you know, I mean, we see his room.
Oh man,
his entire room is like fucking Wild Stallions like memorabilia up the ass.
He's got all his fucking bases, all
the albums,
the jackets. He's just sitting there.
He has a nice ass room though.
Yeah, absolutely. And so,
but they appeal to him. Was he like banished to hell?
No, I think he just goes back home.
That's just his home. Because I mean, like if we're looking at Bogus Journey, I mean, he had a much nicer digs back then. Like he had like almost like a castle.
I don't know. Like I kind of like
he just travels through the dimensions as freely as he wants.
I kind of like this.
Because he kind of went from purgatory to hell to heaven,
right?
In the
and Earth.
Little to no ease.
That's kind of true. Yeah.
And Earth.
I think he just does whatever the fuck he wants and has like. Power over time and space.
I mean, like you said, he is the angel of death, so he just has.
But I would have to say I like his digs in this movie better than in the second because it's a fucking studio.
Well, I'm saying like the room itself is really cool.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying the fact that in Bogus Journey, like it seemed like he had his own quiet little place.
To be fair,
here he's like in the middle of all this nonsense.
He just has like a room with
he has a room, windows. But in the middle of all this fucking chaos going on.
Yeah, maybe.
Whatever, that's just music to his ears.
Like
so
he maybe he decided to set up there just so he can hear all the white noise going on with all the bodies like screaming and crying, just so he wouldn't feel alone.
Which again, that was a pretty hellish vision of hell. Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah, that's about what I expected.
It was pretty hardcore.
Pretty standard.
Seeing all those bodies fall and stuff. Like I wouldn't expect that.
Oh man,
I was honestly just expecting like what we saw in the first one.
Oh
yeah,
the second one. I mean, sorry.
Yeah.
Like in terms of like hell and stuff, but no, they really drew it out.
Well, so basically, the daughters convinced them to kind of mend their
They're like, look, dude, weren't you having a good time? Like, you're a good player, and he's like, I guess I am. And okay, humble as fuck as usual. And they're like, we need your help. And so the daughters bring in the dads and are like, do you want to say something? And they're like, fuck, you know what? Like, we're sorry this ended up because they are all they're friends. Like they don't hate each other at all. They got along really well. They liked playing. They like performing with each other. Death is a very good fucking bassist, as it turns out. And so, they make up. And
would you say that Death is the Les Claypool of the afterlife?
No. Les Claypool is the Les Claypool of the afterlife in the second fucking movie.
Excuse me.
All right. You know what? That's good, but.
Down with the cat.
Stop that. Yeah. Stop that. Jared's a rescue driver. Anyways, This is so like this next scene was actually one of my favorites in the whole movie. So they go back to the police van,
which is in hell.
For some fucking reason, it's there, and they all pile back in the back seat or whatever. And then the robot, like, they lock him out, and they're like, he's pounding on the door. He's like, "Let me in! I want to go! Wait, come on, guys! I'm part of the team." And they're like, "Fuck! All right, get in, dude."
And everybody's like,
Shit. And Mr. Nancy and Death are in the front seat. Death's riding shotgun. And like, it's just bad fucking ass. And also funny because of what happens. Like, you hear the fucking metal music start playing, and Death's like, "Let's rock." And he just pounds the fucking the floor of the van with his scythe. And the fucking van just shoots up into the air.
Then we see like the van like hitting a bunch of dead bodies.
So like all the bodies that are falling down into hell start wanging off the top of the van. Like,
you see the fucking flying demons. It's like, that was so fucking hardcore, dude.
Yeah, it's just flying up.
Like, some of them try to grab onto it.
Yeah.
Too. I was like, dude, what the fuck?
It was badass. It's so metal.
Yeah, that's a fucking
so like,
metal.
yeah, they go back to the present, which is all falling the fuck apart at this point.
Fuck yeah. And at this point, it's even getting worse because at first it was just the people from time that are being displaced.
Places. Yeah,
it's places that are getting.
You start seeing like the Eiffel Tower.
Kelly's on the phone, just like complaining to her mom. She's like, "Now the pyramids are here."
Yeah,
or something like that. I don't know. It's like
are you happy,
craziness. Mom? Super craziness going down.
And so yeah, they go back and they appear on a freeway. And they're trying to find. So this is kind of where I got a little confused. I thought MP46 was the file format for the music.
Which
it turns out it's
not to be that.
It's a place.
They're
like, how do we find this? We need to go here. And yeah, it turns out that's the name of the freeway, MP46. And they're like, "Oh fuck, no way!" Yeah.
So they're like, "Well, the music is going to be made here."
Right.
So this is where we're going to create it. But they're like, "So, Bill, their dad," I mean, the girls were asking him,
"Yeah,
what's the song?" And then they were like, "We don't have it."
Yeah, they broke it up.
Like,
and then Bill and Ted both have the
halves of the
that when the chips said their last names, Preston and Logan,
it wasn't talking about
them. They weren't talking about them. They were talking about the daughters.
Yeah.
Right.
Preston and
so
Logan.
the daughters are essentially like the composers, the producers of the music. And Bill and Ted are there to support them. They're part of the band.
They're part of the band that they were making.
Yeah, they're not the headliners. And so they start trying to put shit together. You know, they're the daughter, Billy and Tia are like,
they're
we
like,
don't know what the fuck we're doing. Or like,
how are we going to set up a stage here? They perfectly park a flatbed trailer that was
right in the middle there.
And then they look to the side and there's a guitar center van that was also there.
And for some reason, they set up their Marshall stacks.
All the equipment and
damn
everything.
It. Always the Marshalls. God damn it. Awesome.
You got to go with the classic look, man. You're not going to bring out some kind of new ass fucking amp that no one fucking knows. People see Marshall, they think rock music. Like
you know what? Yes, also, but they're expensive as fuck. But 100%. You could have been like, maybe they wanted a PV.
So they start setting up everything. And all the band members are getting their instruments and setting up all their stuff, and they just kind of start playing, and it's just like a shit show.
Good at all.
It's a shit show because they all have different types of music.
Yeah, they're from Jimi completely Hendrix, different times.
Louis Armstrong, they all play differently. The freaking the drummer that they brought from the BC was like just wailing on the freaking drums, and everyone was like, stop.
Billy and Tia slowly start bringing out some beats. They start like slowly layering in, I guess, some timing for them.
Yeah, using using a board. Right. They're like, okay, I need you to do this, and I need you to do this, and it slowly starts getting into like a good song.
Death plays that. What does he play? Like that fucking
the death thing, isn't it?
Yeah, he plays the. Yeah, he plays like the death bit.
We're starting to play the song, and
they're starting to play the song.
and Billy are trying to get everyone
doing their thing.
Yeah, they're trying to like get everyone on the same timing, so to speak.
Yeah, and they finally get Death playing a good bass rhythm, and like it sounds cool. They get fucking Jimmy, which of course he's busting in with some random ass lead. Mm-hmm. It's Mozart and Lu Ling that I'm a little like kind of iffy on. Like Mozart's sort of like
was playing his style, like very,
and then he starts to pick up a beat too to work with. Lu Ling is on a fucking flute. Like it's not that I don't want to like, it's not that I want to diminish her role in this at all, but like as far as everyone goes, they could have given her a tambourine. She could have been like the triangle girl. She could have been like.
I have to disagree. As we've seen in Anchorman, a flute can shred. Imagine she sipped some fucking alcohol, lit it at the very corner, flames came out. I mean, I don't know about you, but I'd be pretty like awed at that.
That's your movie, Jerry, and that's great.
That's fucking funny, dude.
This, I mean, it was still cool. Like, it started off pretty janky, and like when they start picking up the pace, still pretty like medium level jank.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna say this. I mean, anyone playing for the first time usually has to kind of feel everyone else out as they're playing. Mm-hmm. No one just starts playing unless you're like really like you're just playing the same type of music.
Good.
Yeah.
No, well, if you're like playing the same type of music, like you probably might gel well fairly quickly.
You can merge in a little bit better.
Yeah, but I mean,
you guys have the same style.
They're playing everyone's playing from different styles, from different times
like
in music.
Thousands of years apart.
So I mean, like
with
everyone's not going to be at the same.
Just casually there.
Yeah. And I mean, that girl on the drums, I mean, when
she hits the cymbal and then she kind of looks under it like, what?
Yeah.
She's seen the cymbal. She's like, what is this thing?
Yeah.
And she just started rocking out.
Like she had a pretty cool beat going.
Heck yeah.
I really liked that.
So they're producing, and then how does it come about that Bill and Ted do their final plan?
They are trying to figure out while Billy and Thea are setting this up, how they're basically doing the meat and bones of everything. Like Billy and Thea are doing like the organization, and Bill and Ted are sort of like bringing out the I guess sort of the main components, the main like themes of the song. But while they're doing this, they're trying to understand how they do this across time and space. They're like, how the fuck do we reach all of these people? Because granted, at this point, at the on the freeway, like there like tons of people are appearing from like across all time. That obviously still does not account for everyone. And so they are like, what the fuck do we do? Like, and they are remembering that when time was first explained to them about it having infinite possibilities, that what are the odds that there exists an infinite number of Bill and Teds? And so what can we do with that? They say, what if we are meant to bring music to everyone literally? And they're like, how do we do that? What if we travel to infinity? And so they're like, fuck yeah, let's do this. We've got the phone booth. we've got the yellow pages of time. Like, let's just fucking look for the number for infinity in there. And so they go and they find it. And they start pounding the numbers in for a while. And then of course, you know, the voices of reason, Elizabeth and Joanna, their wives, come in. They're like, why don't you just push
wait. But let's just say how long they were typing that number.
It was a while. It was like 7, 6, 5, 8, 5, 9, 8, 7, 9,
1, 2.
Yeah.
And then there comes lovely Joanna and Elizabeth, and they're like, well, why don't you just press the infinity button? And lo and behold, on right the fucking, there, lower right corner,
goddamn infinity,
a full fucking button for an infinity
Mobius strip is right there, and they're like, yo, yeah,
oh yeah. Boop. bloop, and then the dang telephone booth starts glowing shoots up like a majestic
pulls
red
some
rocket.
Doctor Who shit and just splits into fucking thousands and thousands of versions of themselves,
or an infinite
infinite
number
of themselves,
booths.
and they are spit throughout time
and space,
meeting everyone at every point instantaneously, and handing them all musical instruments.
Of every kind, too.
Everything. Like,
They're just
I saw
throwing
fucking
everything.
xylophones. At one point, they hand Missy and Deacon
well, they hand Deacon a saxophone.
Yeah, and they hand Missy like a ukulele.
and then Deacon's all like, I knew it, or he tells
Excellent. Like
he tells Ted something like, "Oh yeah, I knew I was right, whatever." He's like,
Right.
"Oh yeah, but I'm not really myself. I'm just an infinite version of myself, whatever." And
right.
disappears.
He just disappears. Like,
and then Deacon's just mystified. Like, I swear,
like,
Deacon
excellent.
and looked up to his brother.
Well, and Missy
Probably,
was
yeah.
also just like still like just super positivo of the whole thing. She's like,
she's just
"Fuck
pissed.
yeah."
She's just pissed that she didn't get to marry Ted, bro.
yeah. No,
bitch
he
got to him
belongs to
before me.
Elizabeth. She's a princess, literally.
That's right. What you gonna do, Missy?
Which nobody freaking believes.
Don't divorce Deacon. He's good for you.
Fucking hope not, dude. That needs to stop already.
Right? That's enough, bitch. All right, like 3 is plenty. Like, don't. Where's it gonna go from here? You're gonna. She's gonna marry
Dude,
like.
if they make
Billy or
another
Dia.
movie-
Do you realize that Ted's dad and his son, or Ted's dad and his little brother, are Eskimo brothers now?
They're Eskimo
that's
brothers.
true.
That's true.
Oh god.
Damn. I was gonna say, imagine if they do make another movie, and I really hope they do. They freaking end up showing that she's now with Death.
That would be awesome.
How cool would it be to be an
That would be
Eskimo
pretty
brother
cool.
with Death, dude?
Maybe.
Oh my god! So their plan is working. They're spreading all these
Right.
instruments through time,
Yep.
and then we go back to the present and stuff like that. And they show up right as the music starts kicking off, and it's getting into a high note and everything.
Right.
They hand Ted his fucking a flying V.
Your favorite role?
God damn it. Oh.
That's
You
weird,
really
right?
like
Ted's guitar of choice is a flying V.
Oh, fuck
Yeah,
off.
it's Roland's guitar of
God
choice
damn
too.
it.
It's weird.
Give me a break.
I know,
The
right?
coincidences just don't stop.
I don't.
All right, I'll go, if I had to pick, I'd go for the fucking Mustaine series V.
Oh, God. Shut up.
And Bill gets handed his what was that, like a fucking,
I think it's an SG.
it's an SG, yeah, isn't it?
SG shape-ish. I can't say if it's
I'm
an
pretty
SG
sure
for
it's
sure, but
what it is, dude.
I'm pretty sure it's like an SG
Yeah.
like guitar.
It-
So they start jamming, and this is basically what unifies
yeah,
the infinite.
so when they come in is
universes.
when it actually, I think when the song actually starts sounding really good, because they're fucking harmonizing with each other,
yeah.
and
Which they
Jimi
seem to-
Hendrix is like, yeah, cool,
Which they seem to be really good at, because they did that at the very end of Bogus Journey.
right. So that is again, yeah, like they fix all the world, like everybody playing, I guess, just fucking unfucks time and space, and everyone goes back to wherever the fuck they fucked off from originally. Did you watch the after credits?
I
clip
did
or
eventually,
whatever?
yes, I
You
did, yeah.
Yeah, so like
At first I did not, but
No,
I
we
did see him
didn't.
eventually.
And then like so Jerry and I saw it, and
Wait, so they saved
they saved the universe.
they saved the universe, but I also want to just point out one little bit when they were playing. Dude, I freaking thought it was really cool how Jimi Hendrix was acknowledging like
Yeah.
the good guitar skills.
Yeah,
and stuff like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
I thought that was fucking cool, man. To have Jimi Hendrix be like, "Damn, dude, you guys are rocking out," and stuff. And then they were just like, "Yeah, man,
Yeah, we are.
They're fucking going."
you know, I think at the point when Jimi Hendrix was actually doing his thing, I don't know if there was too much harmony type of guitar in that style that maybe that's why he was impressed, because he had never heard that before.
Nice.
Oh, that's
All right.
possible.
Okay.
I mean, who the fuck is gonna harmonize with Jimi Hendrix?
Well, I'm not saying the harmonize with Jimi Hendrix.
No,
I'm
no,
saying
no, I just mean
the
in
style
that,
of music
like-
at the time. There wasn't much that type of
No,
harmony.
absolutely. Like
guitar
Jimi
playing.
Hendrix's
he
time.
has no
Yeah.
one. He
Yeah.
had no one. No one on his
There wasn't
particular-
like a peer at the time
right.
for
Yeah,
Jimi
he
Hendrix.
had no
Slash
peers.
Slash appears out of nowhere.
Bring in Ron Burgundy.
No, like that's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah, Jimi Hendrix had no peers,
Right.
and so like listening to them play, like that would probably be a pretty good. Well, I mean, for them, like literally no, but like as far as the movie's concerned, sure.
Yeah, I mean,
Bill
I
and
could
Ted,
do. Well, we're just saying that the fact that Jimi Hendrix seemed impressed with their playing is because, I mean, at the time that was something he had never heard before.
Right,
so when he's hearing them do it, he's like, "Oh shit!" Like
jazz
that's
rock.
really
So I just wanted to put that in there. Like that was really freaking cool, man. So they saved the universe. You see this rippling and everything start.
Everybody goes
reverberating, I guess, going back instead of it being destroyed. It's coming.
Saturn goes back to
Saturn
where it's supposed to be.
Fucking out of nowhere.
Yeah. Is that a solar eclipse?
Came to witness.
I don't think so.
Came to witness the bands. It was like,
fucking-
shit, I want first row seats.
man, Saturn, fucking
Fuck
Nibiru
out of here,
shows up.
Jupiter. You're in the way.
Pluto,
Yeah.
like all the planets came up. They're like, "Oh shit, this was happening right now."
Wild Stallion.
They didn't invite the sun.
Show us your
He was like,
tits.
You wanted to go? He's like, no, go there.
"Son, you're
We
gonna
don't
fuck
need
this up.
another
Just stay back,
disaster.
bro.
We don't
Stay
need another
back, yeah."
disaster.
Well, I promise I won't flare up. I swear.
Right. You said that last time.
Oh my god.
And look what happened to the dinosaurs.
That's right. You got fucked. Way to go. man.
So talking about the end credits,
right. So
we go back to future old Bill and Ted, who were pretty much on their deathbeds.
Yep.
And I think they're pretty much about to die.
Yeah, they're about to die, and then Bill is like, "I don't feel like I'm dying. Do you, Ted?" Like, he looks at him and is like, "No." Okay, and they both sit up, and they're like, "I guess we still have something left to do." And so they just basically fucking reach over, and there's like an amp and their guitars, and they just have like a little jam session. And I was joking with Jerry. I was like, "Wouldn't it be funny if they still didn't know how to play?" which would make no fucking sense.
You're right, yeah.
But no, like they just fucking start shredding like crazy. They just start fucking playing like fucking batshit.
And then
with
right
each
after, you see their youth flare up when they start playing.
And then
as soon as they're done, Bill's like, oh,
yeah. At
he
one
almost
point,
fucking falls and shit.
They stop, and Bill's like, okay. They just go right back to it.
Yeah.
and then yeah,
He's like, I need to sit down.
He sits down, and then Ted sits down, and Bill's like, nurse. And then that's
I mean,
the end of the
speaking of that ending, is that I mean, I've seen videos. I'm pretty sure you have too, of like dudes that look really fucking old, but they put a guitar in their hands and they fucking wail. Like,
yeah,
they can still fucking.
You
They
can
still
find
fucking
like
got it. It's
a lot of
crazy,
YouTube
like,
videos
that
like that
actually happens.
Absolutely.
I mean, you think like looking at this little old man, he can't really play, and then they put a guitar on him, and
He fucking starts.
like they start fucking going crazy, and it's not uncommon
I've heard
for
that
that to
song.
actually
That's
happen.
a really good song.
Movie, was it where,
Really
Ralph
hits
Macchio
hard.
fucking plays that crazy solo. Was it
Which
Ralph
one?
Macchio? Where he plays like this fucking crazy ass solo against this other like Swiss.
Ralph Macchio, the Karate Kid?
Are you talking about the movie Crossroads with where he's playing Steve Vai, who's the devil?
Yeah. They pull that kind of bullshit. they pull that kind of bullshit where it's just like, what the fuck is going on?
Shit, we'll talk about that movie at some point. Fucking Crossroads.
Yeah. It's fucking awesome.
But yeah, so they save the world. They get one last lick in before the end of their life. We don't see them die, but we end up on a good note.
Like,
Yeah, it's just assumed that they do die.
I feel like at that advanced age that they were in that future, I mean, I feel like it was going to come up.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
do you think that there's going to be another movie or like an offshoot with?
I mean, like I said, I hope so, and I hope that
Honestly, they can either a spin-off, like Jerry said, maybe like a death movie, but I honestly doubt that they'll do that.
No,
no, because the actor is 70 years old.
Who?
The actor that plays Death.
Yeah.
He's 70 years old. He's way too old.
He's not 70 years old, is he?
I read that he was 70 years old.
He's right fucking there. What's his name?
William Sadler.
William Sadler, yeah. No way he's fucking 70 years old,
Oh
bro.
yeah, dude. 1950.
Oh shit, really,
He's
bro?
70. So like looking at
He was
Death,
fucking playing Death at 70 years old. That's fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah, man.
So he like
But
you've
what-
seen him in if you watch any of
there's
the
a
interviews,
spin-off, they should do it with like the kids.
He doesn't
the
look his
two
age
girls.
at all. Like
I think it'd be good.
You know, I mean, I could see them doing that, but I mean,
spirit of Bill and Ted though. That's my only. thing.
But that's the thing is that like I feel like this was like the wrap up that everyone was wanting.
Yeah. So like,
I can't necessarily see them doing anything else because they've attempted stuff before, the cartoon, the TV show apparently, which was also garbage. I mean, like it just wasn't good. I mean, because and it's because like the same. You don't have. The thing about Bill and Ted is that you have Alex Winter and Keanu Reeves. And their chemistry together makes the characters, makes the movie, and that's why people like them. Because any other version of that,
notice how throughout this podcast, I've said that the girl that plays Ted's daughter has her exact mannerisms.
Yeah.
I haven't said anything about the girl that plays Bill's daughter because she did a great job and everything, but I didn't really see Bill much in her as much as I saw Ted and the other girl.
Well, because I'm not.
But she did an awesome.
I can't say that this for certain is because Keanu Reeves has a very distinctive way of portraying the character that if anyone sees someone else, again his daughter or like his daughter like portray that character, you can hear Keanu Reeves in that because he has that whoa, like what.
So the script for this
that very surfer dude kind of shit, you know.
The script for this movie had been completed 9 years ago.
They've been trying to make this for a long time.
So they'd talked to Keanu Reeves about it, and like around 2008, he was like, "Oh man, I'd like to do that, sure," kind of thing. And then over the years, he'd been farting around with.
And I'm glad Winter came out of retirement in terms of acting because he hasn't been in anything much.
He's been doing like other stuff behind the scenes.
Yeah. So he came out, and it looked like he had a great time.
The thing is about this movie, it seems or it appears that everyone who took part in this movie just had fun making it.
Yeah. Talking about
that comes through to the whole movie itself. Yeah, like, and it seems like maybe Kid Cudi was a fan of Bill and Ted, so like he was like, yeah, fuck yeah, I'll do that. You know.
I mean, of all the characters, just seeing Kid Cudi, I was like, what?
Station.
Yeah. The movie just has like a feel good type of feeling to it.
Which perfect timing for this kind of thing we're dropping right now.
One of the things I did see in a YouTube video, I think it was Looper. They were talking about like
the one with
that's the one with Justin Gordon-Levitt, isn't it?
No, not the movie. I'm talking about like the YouTube channel. One thing I did see, which I was like, contemplating when we talked earlier about the fact that Keanu Reeves, you can see that he's kind of done as far as the Ted character. Like he's just kind of tired. They're trying to save the world. It hasn't happened yet. And he's basically wanting to give up. But Bill has like the passion for it, right? And they were showing that the way they wear their clothes, like the types of clothes they wear, is kind of consistent throughout all three movies. Bill... the colors, the tones, like they have.
Because I was gonna say, like in this movie, Ted is like almost professional looking. Like he's
I'm just like I said, regarding the colors,
Ted is absolutely the same.
there's a smiley face in all three movies
on the back of Ted's jacket.
Yeah, for instance, in Bogus Journey, Ted has like that red denim,
right? Letterman or whatever,
lighter red sweater. And in this movie, he has the red button-down shirt, like very almost like dad-like, and we don't see the smiley face return until they actually play the last concert on that flatbed, and the smiley face is very subtle on his guitar straps.
Oh, that's right.
And I didn't notice that until they pointed it out, and they said that was kind of like a way of showing that like throughout both movies, Ted is like very upbeat and very like happy and go lucky. But when we first meet him in this movie, he is very somber. He's kind of just not into it,
He's struggling.
But yeah, so when we get to the end of this movie and they're playing, like that Ted he returns, like he's happier, he's more fulfilled, whatever you want to call it.
That's interesting.
And that's when the smiley face shows up.
No, you're right.
That's awesome.
I remember that now that you mention it.
Yeah.
Subtle.
Yeah, it's very subtle. And they said like the same thing with Bill. I mentioned before that he still seems like he has the passion for wild stallions.
Right.
And the way he wears his clothes.
That has not changed. He still has the fucking flannel.
He has a flannel. He ties it around himself. In the first one, he's wearing the flannel. In the second one,
yeah.
And then in this one, he's still wearing a Wild Stallion shirt, and he has the flannel tied around him. He's still in that youthful mindset, and Ted kind of isn't. You know.
So, as far as I can rationalize it for the both of them, Bill is the front man. Like he is essentially the face of Wild Stallions because he's the one always front and center.
But that, again, is what I'm saying. Like he has like the passion for it.
Yeah.
Like he has the drive.
I would almost expect that he has to.
Yeah.
Have it because.
Well, it seems like in this movie in the very beginning and throughout most of the movie, he's carrying it for them, even as their future selves. Like he's still kind of like the guy who's he's not the guy that's like completely fucked up, but he's a little bit more deranged. Ted can't deal with it too much, so he starts drinking a lot. He becomes more of an asshole, you know. So Ted, like you said, Bill's kind of like the guy in front, kind of like
Bill's the brain and Ted is the heart.
Prison to Bill and Ted. In prison, Bill was like the one that was like, "No, are you gonna stay here?" Or whatever. He was like throwing down the orders.
You ain't going nowhere, Curly.
He's the guy with the plan, you know, like initially.
Yeah.
So you might as well just set that line.
And Ted is the support.
For 8 minutes later, or is it 10 minutes?
Bonesaw is ready. 3 minutes of playtime. Yeah.
To the fucking
late
Bill
great Randy Savage.
Me the fuck up, dude. It was just so fucking big. I was like, how is that even possible?
Funny,
He's so small.
So I guess
they've been
with this movie themselves.
This movie has been a long time coming.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. They finally fucking made it.
Was it a Kickstarter? I could have sworn that it was.
I don't recall it being a Kickstarter. I think it was just more of like
Maybe
fans wanting to see this fucking movie.
I was telling Jerry that like as far as these sorts of movies go, they're not necessarily a cult following, but like movies where it's like a continuation of a classic or like a vintage series go. Like they usually fucking blow. Like this is like a huge fucking like complete out of left field surprise. Like
well, see, again,
you see this and you're hoping, oh, I hope this is fucking good.
Yeah, I mean, I think most of us had that worry when we were gonna watch it. I mean, I was like excited to see this movie.
I want to take it with a grain of salt. I'm like, no,
I'm not expecting much.
Yeah, exactly.
Because again, this is time will tell kind of thing. Like
over 20 years.
Every time a movie tries to reboot itself, or tries to like continue on with an old classic, it gets fucked.
Perfect
Thing,
example.
Evil Dead, Super Troopers
perfect
2.
Example. Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back to Jay and Silent Bob reboot.
I couldn't even watch all of that.
Look, let me tell you something.
After like 40 minutes,
and I say this,
and I love sincerity.
Yeah,
I love Kevin Smith.
I love Kevin
Jason
Smith.
Fucking Mewes.
Jason Mewes, everything.
Hilarious.
That movie was bad.
That movie was not good.
So bad.
I mean, the first one is bad, but it's an enjoyable bad.
Yeah.
I think even Kevin Smith had said this fucking movie was garbage. I'm not sure.
I don't think he said that. Like,
I know he said that about his own movies before.
Yeah,
he's said that before,
with
sure.
few exceptions. He loves Clerks. He loves fucking Chasing Amy.
I think he says that he likes Red State too.
Well, I think he loves all his movies, but the thing is,
he's also very pragmatic about it. He's he's like, look, I love making yoga hoses, but I know
back a movie from back then that was awesome, liked it. And he was trying to move on with it. And I mean, I enjoyed it, but I knew it wasn't a good movie. But I enjoyed the first one a million times.
Yeah,
more.
for sure. I saw Jay and Silent Bob reboot, and I was kind of like,
Pie Fucker playing Silent Bob was the best thing ever.
Well, yeah, I mean, but that's the thing is like those are lovable characters.
Mark Hamill is cock-knocker.
Yeah,
dude.
Those are lovable characters.
Am I going to have to
it was not done well.
Balls?
Like it was just bad.
Yeah, it was very.
I saw the movie and I was like, God damn! Man,
I couldn't finish. Like we've got it on. It's on Plex.
I did not laugh once through that whole fucking movie.
It was a lot of like, because the movie just was essentially just like a bunch of Kevin Smith movie Easter eggs all over the place.
Yeah,
especially in the Comic-Con panel.
And it was just old.
It was good seeing Ben Affleck though.
Yeah,
like that was an enjoyable part.
Right.
Mostly because as a character, I got to witness that character kind of got closure in that movie.
Right.
Because
so that's what I think was the main point.
Some shit in the other ones, like chasing Amy and stuff.
That's
and
what
that
I
was
thought
kind
the
of
main
like a
point of this
concluding
whole
chapter for that character.
Was
where
the conclusion
happy.
of Kevin Smith's extended universe.
Yeah,
or whatever.
exactly. He was happy. He has his daughter.
Like
his business is going good and all that stuff. So I mean,
pretty much put a bunch of closure
that we
to
got
everything.
to see some characters
Because
like that.
I think that Kevin Smith is probably. I would say
Smith
that
is
he's more proud of this movie is the fact that he got to work with his daughter.
Yeah.
And then he had to like explore like a relationship between a father and
all
daughter.
that he's really interested in
the
is
thing with
his
Kevin Smith is that he tries to put his daughter in a lot of his movies nowadays.
Yeah.
And I get it, like his daughter, like that's you're gonna love your child and everything, but I feel like she should start branching out and doing her own acting stuff rather than staying.
Well,
in
I think she's
because she gets shoehorned in there too much.
I think she's starting to do that.
Right. Yeah, but she gets really shoehorned into his movies and stuff.
Yeah.
Like imagine Jane Silent Bob just having their adventure without actually it being like Jay has a daughter and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Or at least having it be like a different actress that isn't just like again shoehorning his daughter in there.
Yeah.
Like I understand, like you want to care, but she's already been in other Kevin movies. Kevin Smith.
she was in Yoga Hosers, which was pretty
like
funny.
They made a whole movie because she wanted to do the movie.
Ray and I watched that one and we enjoyed it.
That wasn't too bad.
It wasn't too bad.
I didn't really like it.
It wasn't good.
I hated
it was
it.
not good.
Like
we liked it because it was bad.
That was the one that continued off of.
There was like a shit monster in there, wasn't there?
After Tusk, right? That was the one that continued off of Tusk or something.
It was after Tusk, but it's because they brought back the Johnny Depp character. Of the French detective.
I generally hate like Jason Long. As a person, I think he's
Justin Long.
Justin Long, excuse me.
I actually like Justin Long.
I
do.
Too.
I think he's a cool person.
He's ever been in is the guy from Dodgeball. Fucking funny.
I think he's a cool person. Yeah, when he does like comedic roles, holy fuck! Like I just feel like he's being himself, and he's hilarious. Holy fuck! But when they try to put him in like serious roles, I just can't fucking like pay attention to it at all. Like it just. Bleh.
I don't know. I personally didn't like.
He was fucking hilarious in Yoga Hosers. Like he was the yoga instructor.
Yeah.
In Yoga Hosers, and he was one of the funniest fucking scenes was when he's talking to Kevin Smith's daughter and their friend about taking a shit. He's like, "Oh yeah, you just do the Indian style."
Johnny Depp's daughter that played.
Yeah, it was Johnny Depp's daughter.
The friend of Kevin Smith's
I think
daughter?
they're friends in real life.
Yeah, they are. Like, well, you know what? We'll do an episode just on like maybe just ranking Kevin Smith movies.
That'd be great.
That'd be fun.
That would be great.
But yeah, so I mean,
chasing Amy at the bottom.
The whole reason we started talking about this is because of the fact that like. The Bill and Ted movie, again, we were a little bit worried about it, but we were still excited to watch it because it's Bill and Ted.
Yeah.
And you don't really have to think too much about a Bill and Ted movie necessarily.
No.
But we were bringing them up because it's like a movie from a time.
Yeah.
And we're bringing it in such a distant, like
it's that nostalgia factor.
Yeah, it's like
comes
it's been a long
in. We're like,
Yeah.
fuck, is this going to be as good?
Like you
don't want to have your you don't want to set your expectations too high.
Yeah.
I mean, I still can't say
because it's been almost 30 fucking years.
It's like the new Star Wars. They're all trash. And you look back at the original Star Wars, and even the prequel trilogy which was I feel like better than what it is right now. Which I feel like
it's all questionable.
If
it's all questionable.
I am saying it. It's true.
Mandalorian's cool.
Fucking Mandalorian is amazing. Nobody hurt the child. He's the best.
Yeah.
Anyways, love that.
What about the Star Wars Christmas special? Anybody?
Oh, fuck off.
Anybody?
Family Guy Star Wars is better than that.
Hey, you're right. It is.
It is.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Anyways, but it's just you get scared that
don't get PC, kid.
You get scared about what they're going to do with a franchise, you know?
Yeah.
And
because it's a part of the fucking Disney machine now. It's not Lucasfilm.
Everything's getting part of the Disney machine.
But the one thing we can the one thing that did bring some kind of comfort to the fact that this movie was going to be made.
Does Disney own Star Trek?
Well, fuck that already. Fuck that already. Okay. The reason there was a bit of more of a comfort watching this movie is because like writers were the same people,
right? Yeah, the directors,
a lot of the actors,
the actors, Keanu,
they all came back.
Winter were fully on board, for it.
And again, I feel like the fact that they had the same writers can kind of keep with that same spirit of the other two and continue on. And I think that's one of the reasons why this movie is as enjoyable as it is because
it has that
the same people came back to write for it.
Okay.
That's what I think personally.
Well, yeah, no. So like, I agree with you in that that all worked in to their advantage because it has good dialogue. Like, there's always fun fucking banter. Like, it's silly, but not to the point of just like, I fucking hate this. It's just
but
it's so silly. I laugh.
I say that because I say the fact that the same writers came back and you can feel that in the dialogue,
right,
the banter.
It
It's
is very much. It is very much in the same fucking
it's
spirit.
Not someone else trying to write like them. It's the same people writing the same.
Literally, when they were talking to themselves and they were pretending like they felt like they were talking to different people. It's just that's the writers doing that. That's like magic, man. It's funny.
Yeah. It was
overall, man, I think they did an
pretty good stuff.
job with the movie.
I think so too.
I really enjoyed it. Like, I enjoyed the second one. And it was fantastic. They culminated. I felt like the song was good and it was. Cool.
It was all right. Yeah, it got very good when
singing and
Bill and Ted jumped in.
It was just as epic as you would think the song to save the universe would be like. Like, it looked epic and it sounded like it was an epic piece.
You know, Roland. I mean, I don't know if you're familiar with Doctor Who, Jerry. I feel like
very brief.
That last scene with the everything splitting up. I was like, isn't that from Doctor Who? Like,
yes, it is. So, I forget.
I forget
it was accurate, but I think we did talk about this in one of the previous episodes where, like, these guys took a bit of inspiration with the telephone box from the telephone booth.
Well, yeah, that is obvious. But I think the fact that splitting off into like multiple
so that is the thing that has happened.
Yeah.
That has actually happened in. I think it was the 10th Doctor. I forget where
that's a David Tennant thing, or
no, that was Matt Smith.
That's 11th.
So David Tennant does.
All I remember is David Tennant. And
David Tennant.
what's his name? Peter Capaldi.
Right.
Are the only doctors that I actually paid attention
David
to.
Tennant, I think, does have. It's been a while since I've watched his. I think he does have parallel universes in his arc, and Matt Smith has a moment where he is like present in all places and time at once.
I think Matt Smith is the one that I didn't really like too much.
He was my favorite.
David Tennant is like my favorite one, and then Peter Capaldi I enjoyed.
Peter Capaldi is cool because he's like the fucking rock star Doctor Who kind of thing.
You know, I mean, I think Christopher Eccleston, is that his name?
Yes, Eccleston. He was the first,
Tennant,
and like he's like
and Matt Smith. I mean,
he was like the biker version.
That's where I kind of fell into Doctor Who more so than Peter Capaldi. Even though I wanted to get into Peter Capaldi more, I just didn't.
Seeing the Peter Capaldi episodes with rolling here.
Yeah,
and it was only like a few of them. I remember his sidekick and stuff like that.
Clara Oswald.
Yeah, and she was pretty cool.
She was all right for the most part. Towards the end, it was just kind of like,
but like, I mean.
Yeah.
I don't watch much of Doctor Who. That really
not anymore.
I've seen a bit of the newer ones. They're all right. Jodie Whittaker. Is it Jodie Whittaker? Fuck. Jodie Foster? No. Fuck.
Jodie Foster.
I can't remember her fucking name, all right? She does a pretty good job. It's all right, but it's really not. And it's nothing against her. It's all about the writing and the
the writing to me is just terrible.
It kind of sucks.
She could actually be a really good doctor, but I think
she is like she has very much in the same sort of spirit. She's just like goofy and kind of just
but I think she's just kind of like an afterthought as far as the doctor is concerned.
Real quick,
freaking throwing it out there.
I don't want her to be, but I mean, like I feel like they're not giving her a proper vehicle, you know. No.
All right, so what we left off was talking about
just like
just the worry of it continuing because of so long. So I guess now, we're gonna review the movie. Our thoughts.
Yeah, we're gonna give our thoughts on the movie, and So I mean, again,
hasn't made much money yet.
I would,
but I can totally see this.
It hasn't.
Well, check it out. I can totally see this.
Well, first of all, there's no box office.
No, exactly. It's VOD.
There's VOD.
So this is going to be another cult hit.
Let's just say this, all right? For instance, I bought the movie. I paid $27 total for the movie.
Yeah.
And basically, we've all watched it off that one ticket, so to speak.
Shit, man, I'll buy it just so I can support it.
And the reason I bought it was because of sport. I know we can get it by other means, but I didn't want to do that with this movie. I wanted to spend the money for it. And so basically, it means like anyone would do it. Like if they have they buy the movie and then they invite people over to their house.
Right.
That's a watch party. I mean, that's
what we did.
For instance, if you're buying like during this pandemic, I think you can only have like 10 people at your house or something like that at a time.
Not even.
Allegedly.
Well,
allegedly.
Assholes.
For instance, that's what
it's supposed to be about 5.
That would be like 2 tickets that you're purchasing and then 7 others that are watching it for free.
Yeah.
So I mean, on VOD, this movie's not going to make that much money.
No.
Because I mean, again, everyone can watch it. But the thing is that
over time,
I feel like once it hits
time,
streams,
I think.
Like Netflix.
Amazon, people watch it again. Yeah,
because Netflix has to pay for being able to put that on their stuff. And I feel like that's where they're gonna get the money from. But I really hope that it does make some money because this fucking great.
This movie itself, I mean, we also have to take into account that it's made right now.
What they'll do is once the theaters get back to normal and
they'll
feel comfortable,
I'd want to go watch it.
I'll be honest with you. Like if they showed it at the drive-in, I'd probably go watch it at the drive-in.
No, I want to see cinema level.
Sure, dude.
Yeah.
Check it out.
I would do both.
Man, drive-in. I'm not gonna listen to it through my freaking car speakers. Fuck that. I want to hear like fucking the vibration.
Well, lowest common denominator.
I want to like have my ice chest full of drinks that I have to hide from the cops.
Yeah, that's it's got its perks, right?
Sure.
So
the last time we went to the drive-thru, I know they were smoking weed in the back, like around us. It smelled like a nice night for someone.
So this movie
I don't know how people do that.
This movie had a budget of $25 million. So far as VOD, it's only made $1.6 million.
Yeah,
which is fine.
That's a smaller budget than I thought it was going to be.
I mean, the movie's only been out for barely a week.
The first one had 10 million.
The 5th?
I think
today's the 5th, right?
Well, it's mostly because of the CGI that we saw. We got to see hell. We got to see a universe almost implode, and then
Yeah, we could say for sure that the CGI wasn't great.
Robo Rufus,
but it was
no. Robo was terrible.
Hollow Rufus, excuse me. The
hologram Rufus.
Hologram Rufus. The robot was fucking hilarious.
Really all practical.
He looked silly as shit.
It was full on practical. Dude. There's no CGI on that guy at all. Maybe his freaking
lasers, crazy wings and shit.
That dude is full on practical suit, and you could tell.
I do want to get.
But that was great though because that goes with the Ted.
Ted
mythos.
It was really funny.
Yeah, I do want to get Daniel's take on this before I actually put this out, and I'll tag it in at the end of the episode.
Try.
Which I'll ask him to do. Just give us his ratings and stuff because Daniel was gonna participate in this episode.
Watched this movie even more than we have.
He unfortunately was feeling sick.
He's not feeling well,
and we already planned to do it, so we just did it.
But regular sick, not what everyone else.
I guess I think he was like regular sick.
Yeah.
Remember, people get regular sick,
not C19.
Right.
It's not just COVID all the time. People get regular sick nowadays too.
Yeah, it's called the flu.
It's flu season, so it's happening.
So double bullshits, right?
Okay, so we're here with Daniel. Unfortunately, Daniel wasn't able to participate in the original recording of Bill and Ted Face the Music due to illness.
I thought I was going to die.
Yeah, because you actually could see it on your face at the last minute there. Like, I think that time that you had we recorded it was at Last Dragon. There's actually 2 versions of that one, and then another version of I forgot what other movie. But we recorded 2 that night, and like you were feeling sick too. But if we had video, I'm pretty sure we could see it on your face, like we did this time around.
Like it takes a lot for me to bow out of anything. Like
yeah, for sure.
In the last 4 years, I've called out of work once because I was sick.
Yeah. Most folks, it doesn't take much. Like I'm pretty sure a slight headache will derail them completely, and I'm pretty sure you experienced that too.
Not saying I'm like a badass or anything, but it's just
something in your nature.
It takes a lot for me to say no. I'm not down, and I was super bummed about Bill and Ted 3 because, well, A, I love this movie. B, I've watched it, I think, about 5 time since we watched it together.
I'm about on number 4 right now.
And C, it was the 3rd episode in the fucking trilogy where we're covering these movies. Right. And it felt incomplete to me for having, one of the 3 gone.
For sure. I guess, Daniel, do you want to give us maybe your favorite scenes of this movie?
To be...
I do, man. The first scene, and in our conversation before we got recording, my take, so I could figure out what you guys talked and didn't talk about. You guys did mention how well the casting for Billy and Thea was.
Yeah, and Jerry did mention that, yeah.
Yeah, word. Neat little factoid. I'm not sure if you saw this, Roland, but...
What's up?
The chick they cast to play Thea is Samara Weaving. Her uncle is none other than Hugo Weaving.
Oh, hell, I should have thought of that. We were looking at her. I was looking at her IMDb at one point, and I know I'd seen her in like a couple of other because I recognized her before. And I was like, I
totally didn't, but the name at first and her face structure, I was like, I remember the Weave part of her last name. So I was like, dude, is this like Sigourney Weaver's kid? And so I was looking at that family and I was like, oh, wait, it's Weaving. And I was like, oh, shit, Agent Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, she plays, or she's going to be playing Scarlet in the next Snake Eyes movie, which that's going to be a dumpster fire.
As in G.I. Joe?
Yeah.
Wow,
she's also in Guns Akimbo.
Yeah, she is.
We're going to be checking out pretty soon.
Word.
What was I looking at? The Smile. What else? Ash versus Evil Dead. She's Heather in the TV series.
Okay, I think Google caught back up.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Okay. What about
my favorite scene for Billy and Thea's adventures was early on when they're trying to figure out, like, dude, we got to help our dads. And then Billy sits down, does the Keanu like head nod, and is like, but how? And it's fucking perfect. Like, that's like that one scene. I mean, I think the two characters, like, they're smarter than their dads, even though they have the same downfalls.
Yeah.
Because it seems like they have like a tighter grasp of musicality and shit than they did when they were the same age.
Yeah, well, I would say they probably got that from their moms,
that to like good parenting, as it turns out. Like,
well, yeah, but I mean,
parents, and they give them access to like that like their whole studio and stuff.
Well, I mean, you're giving we know that in the Princesses kind of like had the talent already to play these instruments, because part 1 they were good, part 2 they were even better. So I mean, the talent for the music comes from the moms, I imagine. The interest and the passion for the music come from their dads.
For sure. Yeah.
So I mean, you have that combination, and they kind of that's where you get them, And of course, the moms are smarter. So the moms are obviously smarter than the dads. So I mean,
I imagine Bill and Ted just like exposed them to a shitload of different genres of music.
Well, if they're like playing, if they were like making music, they had the access to kind of just have that at their disposal.
I mean, so like we talked about it before, but like when Bill and Ted go and meet them at their house later on, both of them give them like props and sort of like analyze their influences and their techniques for the theremin and the fucking
throat singing.
The throat singing,
the row with Bill.
But I think that that the young ladies that they got to depict their daughters were perfectly cast, and I felt the strongest moment where, like, yes, this was a good casting decision for Billy's character was the "but how" moment.
Yeah.
It was just fucking perfect. And then when they would go "whoa" together, and I also appreciated how they would both say things at the same time, just like their dads would do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think they actually did it a little better. I want to say they might have been like slightly more in sync than their fathers were.
But
But again, it just because they're pretty much all raised together, and like Bill and Ted turn out to be surprisingly good parents.
Next favorite scene involves our dear robot, whose name I can't remember.
Dennis Caleb McCoy.
Yeah.
When Dennis is in hell with them and they're running along, and then Bill and Ted asked the two demon dudes,
yes,
direct, like if they've seen,
they show a picture,
see their daughters or whatever. Like, oh yeah. And then fucking Dennis comes up and he goes, "Thanks, dudes," and he like runs after fucking Bill and Ted, and then they're like, yeah. That's strange. What's a robot doing in hell? Like, it's just kind of a running gag. Like, we have a robot in hell somehow. Like, it was just fucking hilarious.
Well, I mean, the fact that there's a robot in hell, and there's also a fucking police squad van in there as well.
Right, the van that goes down with Mr. Nancy.
Yeah. So, were there any other scenes, Daniel?
Yes. I loved the interaction with Bill and Ted with 2 years in the future, Bill and Ted, when they first ran into them, and Ted's turned into like an alcoholic and stuff. And,
fuck you,
younger
Ray.
Ted wants to fight older Ted, and Bill's holding him back. Like, he's not worth it, dude. He's not worth it. And related to seeing their future selves, when they see themselves in their retirement home setting, they sit down, like they're talking to themselves, like, I don't think I ever got a chance to know you, Ted. You know,
I never opened up to you.
Yeah, I think Jerry brought it up, the fact that whenever they are talking to themselves, they talk to themselves like they have no idea about
like
who they are.
Like
yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's literally just
that the fucking Bills always vibe.
Yeah.
What is
in some way?
Bill tells him, he's like, "I'm sorry I wasn't there for you," and Bill's like, "No, dude, you were always there for me." Like,
you never let me down.
The Bills seem to have like emotional moments, like they're hugging and stuff. The Teds never touch each other. They're always just kind of like, or they never like embrace each other. They're always kind of just like hand or like
standoffish.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's like, dude, you're always so weird around yourself. I know. So, and that's, even though in, the previous film, we did see future versions of Bill and Ted. But I feel that Face the Music executed it a lot better with the dialogue between, current and future selves.
Yeah, for sure.
And just bring up like the prison scene where they go and find swole Bill and Ted. I loved all the tattoos and shit. I think Bill had like wild stallions on his stomach, and
Ted has excellent on his chest.
Then Ted's got somewhere on his like neck or chest. It's like Billy and goddamn, his wife's name forever.
Elizabeth,
yeah. She's got that on him. It was just funny, like Bill and Ted inspired prison tats. But no matter where Bill and Ted are in their shitty future selves moments, they're still trying to work towards the song.
Yeah,
and I think that's cool.
Okay, so do you have any quotes that you were particular of?
I do. Really, it's just one. And let me find my document I wrote it down on real quick. There you go. All right, so early on in the movie, after Bill and Ted go to couples therapy with their wives, and they're talking in the garage, and Ted's talking about quitting the band. And so Bill says, "Think about our fans, dude." And fucking Keanu gives the perfect like little head shake. And he's like, "Bob and Wendy will totally understand. Eileen, we haven't heard from for several years." Oh, Roland, I mentioned Keanu. Ray and I on a quick tangent about Samara Weaving being related to Hugo Weaving. So is Bill and Ted set in the Matrix verse, or is the Matrix verse set in the Bill and Ted verse?
And we said because there's also the connection of the fact that Samara Weaving is in the movie with Keanu Reeves, and her uncle is in the movie with Keanu Reeves as well. So I mean,
maybe. I mean, I would say if anything, like the Matrix is probably set in the Bill and Tediverse, or maybe like a dark universe where they don't fucking save the world or some shit, and then we get taken over by Skynet.
Okay, so who would Alex Winter play in The Matrix? Like, what kind of a character do you think he would be? Because I was thinking kind of like, what was that guy's name in the first movie? Mouse?
Oh, fuck.
You're talking about one of the characters that one of the characters that's in the the programmers.
I think his name was Mouse. Yeah,
some bullshit like that. Or would he be like Tank? You know, sitting there. Showing the Keanu the ways of kung fu.
I think he'd be the programmer. That dude seemed a bit more upbeat.
So Jerry, since you joined us again, I want you to give us a 1 out of 5. Yeah.
All right, dude, this one was a solid 4.5 out of 5. I mean, nothing can really be a full 5. I need to give it some leeway, some like you did this wrong, but like it was a 4.5 out of me. I really enjoyed this movie. I guess the only like real complaint that I would have is you could tell what was going to happen at the very end. The people that were
absolutely
save the universe wasn't going to be built.
Very much
I wasn't surprised about that.
Of the first two,
I kind of could tell.
You're
like,
not going to have a bad ending. Like,
well, no, but I'm talking about along the lines of like it was the daughters that were going to be the ones that saved the universe, not Bill and Ted themselves.
Yeah.
Where I feel like since they're the title characters, I feel like they should have been the ones.
So you called it.
They just had a small role.
You called it pretty early when we were watching the movie. You said like, "Oh, they're probably the ones that."
This really feels like it's leading into them.
And I didn't say anything because I was like, "No, yeah, you're right."
And because I told you I was like, "Please don't spoil it," because I do not.
It's kind of a given.
Spoilers. Roland, I know you like to talk a lot, man. When we watch movie, and I love listening to you. I love listening, but I was scared that you're gonna spoil this movie.
Shut the fuck up, Ray.
No, I just don't want you to spoil.
You're fine. Like I know what this bitch is laughing.
I live with you, dude. I know what it's like.
So did I, Jerry.
God damn it.
Like I'm fine with that. You could chat your ear off. You could chat my ear off. I don't care. But I just did not want the movie to get spoiled. So I was just like, please just don't tell me. But I feel like this is what is gonna happen. You're like nodding. You're like maybe.
Yeah, shut up.
Shut the fuck up.
Shut up, you fucking asshole.
He's fucking like trying to like stop his word.
But like,
you go, Jerry's
So,
like, please, Roland, don't say anything.
Ray and Daniel and I were watching it the first time, and like both of them were giving me shit because I was drinking and I was like, hey, this and this and this, and you were just like, shut the fuck up.
You go, we're all watching it for the first time, you cocksucker. Shut up.
Shut up, bitch. So
bite me.
Like, so it was a predictable ending, and I mean, I'm just gonna dock him on that one. But I mean, honestly, I really enjoyed the movie. I kind of wish Death was a little bit more in it because this might be the last one that we get to see that character. Mm-hmm. I liked all the historical figures and Kid Cudi that came out.
It was very.
And it was really cool. I fucking love the Jimi Hendrix and Mozart, like when they were playing along each other and stuff like that. It was fucking cool. I loved all that stuff. I loved watching the different failed versions of Bill and Ted, especially prison Bill and Ted. They were like my favorite fucking things of how ridiculously buff they were. It was like all the prisoners were like regular sized people, and these guys were like fucking massive, fucking Herculean level buff, dude. It was crazy, dude. The robot was really fucking funny. I thought they portrayed hell like very, very more vast and scarier than the second one. I thought that the ending leading up to it again was really going to be predictable. I didn't like how everything was conveniently there. The stage, the handful of instruments. Like it was just stuff like that I have to like just put on there just so I can give it the 4.5. Because I mean, a 5 would be something so hard to get to. I mean, at least this is the closest thing.
Right.
And I feel like it's a great, fantastic movie that anybody would really enjoy, especially if you know these characters and you love them, because you can feel the passion from both Keanu and Winters.
It's never dull. It's never a dull moment. Like they don't. It doesn't ever seem forced
and even when it's like a scene where it's supposed to be kind of like more serious and stuff like that, they seriously still somehow find a way to add comedy into that. Like when they're at the freaking marriage counselors, like who the fuck? Why would that be like a good thing in a comedy? And they just still put that
because
comedy.
the implication,
Bill and I
divorce.
love you. Like that shit was just fucking funny, dude. We love you. Like they just couldn't get it. It was the same lovable goose from the first two movies that you saw back in the day. Now still acting the same way. It was just phenomenal. I liked it. The adventure was great, and I mean I'm gonna give it a 4.5 out of 5.
All right. Okay.
It was a phenomenal movie, and I felt like it ended in such a sweet note, especially with what the directors did, where they added like pictures and videos of fans playing along to Wild Stallion music. I thought that was freaking great. You can feel the love from both the fans and the cast and crew. So phenomenal.
All right. I guess I'll go next. Jerry, I'll agree with you. I'll give it a 4 out of 5.
4.5.
4.5. Well, you give it a 4.5. I'm gonna give it like a straight 4. 4 out of 5. I'll say a lot of the things that you have complaints about, minus the fact that they had the Guitar Center truck there and that, all that shit didn't bother me at all.
I don't know where that.
No,
I think
of course it's there.
I think my little gripes are basically with the way it's shot. And again, this almost seems like it could have been like a TV movie. Like for the, I felt like the graphics probably could have been better for the money that they spent on it. I'm not necessarily complaining too much about it. I still enjoyed the movie itself. The movie as a whole just felt fun.
Yeah,
and personally, with any movie that we talk about here, I feel like it just has to be fun for me. And if I'm watching the movie and I'm having fun watching it, even if it's like a really dark fucking movie, like I have a reaction to it, unless it's just complete hate, I will enjoy it. And this one, I just had a good time. Again, Roland and Daniel and I watched it together on a little watch party on Discord, and I was drinking, and from the very beginning of the movie to the end, I had a good time. And again, I think the only thing I had an issue with was the fact that like the CGI was kind of like it wasn't that great. The Alex Winter and Keanu Reeves, I love their chemistry, and they continue it in this movie. But I really have nothing else to say about the movie. The daughters are great. Rufus's daughter Kelly, I think she was fun as well. I didn't care for the leader.
I think she was meant to be a bitch.
Well, it's not that. It's not that. It's just like I feel like
to it.
Like she. This may be just like a complaint about the story, is that she lost her way regarding the fact that since Rufus wasn't around anymore, he's not there to like
not necessarily lost her way, but like she was very pragmatic. She was very realistic. She's like, look, is this the way that we're going to do everything? Is this going to save us? Are you sure? If not, like, all right, then how she was trying to think of every possible way to make sure that the universe survived.
Well, I think another
and that includes
personally to me another
to like weigh both sides of any
wasted adventure was the wives going into the future and checking all that. We saw none of that.
We didn't,
and that would have been fun to have seen.
That would have been
she
3
didn't
adventures
have
in one
the
movie.
Faith of Rufus or Kelly, kind of thing. She was more of just like I'm a
speaking
diplomat.
of Kelly, something I appreciated about the movie also that I forgot to mention is just the amount of special guests that they had that were fun to have around, like Dave Grohl coming out of nowhere.
Yeah,
that was really funny.
Just really cool. Yeah, because that adds to my rating. It's just having all these fun like people come up. Like Kristen Shaw was amazing. I love Kristen Shaw.
She's funny.
She's freaking great. And having her, Dave Grohl,
Kid Cudi.
Kid Cudi. I mean, I guess he was just there.
Kid Cudi dropping physics.
It was really fun just to have like a bunch of these actors and people in general.
And I think another reasoning for the 4 out of 5 is that the movie runs at 91 minutes. I mean, that's pretty tight. And to jam all that in there, it comes quick. Like it's a quick movie.
So it felt jam packed. And honestly, I didn't realize how long the movie was. But I was like, there's a lot of stuff to take in.
Yeah. And it's fast.
For me, that actually goes in its favor because generally any movie that is that long, it feels super rushed. But it feels like there's like so many, like they leave out so many plot holes. Like there's just like it's shittily written.
But something that I could actually say about this movie is that it doesn't feel like it drags on.
No, it doesn't.
In any aspect.
Because
like there's movies that are this long,
but
that like you're like in a certain segment of the movie for a long time. You're like, can we just?
I think exactly.
Not an issue
because of this though. I think it's very succinct. Like it's just everything is just enough that.
The one thing I will say about this
isn't
movie
dragging
that
and there's any loopholes. Like I don't feel like this is all rushed or anything. Like,
again,
I felt like it was all action.
There's no like fluff in this movie. It's just fucking like go and
straight to the point.
Right.
Like beginning and
everything
done.
has a purpose to what's happening.
Yeah, it was.
Even
there,
the
like you said, there really isn't any fluff.
Cheetos.
There isn't any fucking like extra like icing on this. It was just all nice and thick.
Right. So 4 out of 5 for me, Roland. What about you?
I'll give it a 4.25.
What a fucking
Of course
dick.
you're gonna be
What a fucking dick.
4.25.
Yes.
Snuggle up right between Bray and I.
Yeah. I am.
Snuggle up in my ass cheeks, motherfucker.
What a bitch. It'll keep me warm.
Definitely
It will.
gonna keep you warm.
You gross bitch. You better wipe. Front to back, not back to front. You goddamn
he
savage.
did eat that Burger King, so
Yeah, and then fillet of fish.
No lettuce, no tomatoes.
Yeah, I swear.
Onion?
All meat and onion.
Did you have like a side order of garlic? You fucking bitch.
And mozzarella sticks.
Ah, Jesus Christ.
Sticks are really good though.
Not for your butthole.
Cheese, meat, and onion. Get with it.
Jesus Christ.
Bacon?
So 4 point. There was bacon in there and jalapenos.
I hope your butthole burns.
No, I'll be fine.
Well, you're gonna be
So 4.25.
Yeah, so like for everything that you guys said, like little comments that I had in between, I really didn't think this movie had any fluff. Like I thought it wasn't short and sweet. It was just right kind of thing for me. I didn't watch this at all feeling like, oh fuck, get to the point already. No, like it was sort of just action moments, and but it wasn't in like the same situation where it's like have you guys seen Pineapple? You've seen Pineapple Express.
There was more killing in this movie than I expected. Though, to be
Yeah,
honest
so like I told you before, this was a mix of like both the first and second movie. Pineapple Express. Like you and I watched that together. Have you seen that one, Jerry?
Fuck yeah.
So like when I first watched, I think I've seen it once or twice, but when I watched that movie, I was always like, this is too much action.
Just let me know.
This is too much action. I was like, fuck. Like they would do something in this one scene, and I was just like, before I could catch a breath, boom, next scene. You know, and you're just like getting barraged with all these fucking ridiculous moments.
And then they start introducing like a lot of characters in the movie.
Right. So like
wait, what?
with this one, it was something similar, but at the same time, like I was able to catch my breath. I was kind of like, okay, they got through this. Next fucking like leg of the journey or whatever. And I was like, I was never just like bombarded with with fucking like just sensations of bullshit or whatever throughout this whole thing. I was just like, fuck, this is cool. They're doing this. Awesome. Fucking Jimi Hendrix, fucking Louis Armstrong, like keep going. Badass cool. They're dead. They go to hell. Here's death. Like it was very again, like I thought it was very well written. Like the dialogue, like there wasn't any moment in there that I was annoyed or just like this is too stupid. No, it was wholesome, cringy, but like mostly in that because it was so goddamn positive. These guys go to fucking hell and they're just like, hey, we got this.
Still in a good mood.
Yeah, exactly. Like nothing phases them.
They were happy to go back.
Right. Yeah. They're like,
they've been there already.
We're gonna meet death again. Like, cool. You know what? Like, let's get some shit. Let's hash some shit out with him. You know.
But they went back for a very honorable reason, man. They were gonna get their fucking kids out of there.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't know about anybody else. They just wanted their kids back.
Right. And it just worked out.
Like again, dude, good dads, man. Bill and Ted were amazing.
Yeah. So 4.25. Fuck Ray. 4. You bitch. You bitch.
So I mean, that'll be it. And again, I hope we can get Daniel's rating at some point because I know he wanted to be on this, but unfortunately he was sick. So this is what it is. Are we? Yeah. So rating for Bill and Ted Face the Music, Daniel.
So
that's cool.
Did you already go over with Ray like what you thought of this, like as far as the trilogy goes? You know, compared to like the first 2 movies, or
well, I think we just take that as
how do you kind of gauge
like
it?
during the rating. I would imagine. I mean, that's kind of like the discussion.
Yeah,
I thought, well, like I mean, like not. I wasn't talking about like this specific movie. I guess,
but just how it holds up with the rest, sort of thing.
Yeah,
or how it compares kind of to the.
When I was talking with Ray and Jerry about this before, I thought the third movie had like elements of the first 2 in it, which like it blended them well, pretty together pretty well. And I mean, like, what did you think of the band? That kind of stuff.
I thought it was
Hendrix and Mozart.
So okay, I'm gonna get onto, and we'll probably get demonetized for this and hated off the face of the planet. But I thought that the artists they went after and you got for the band, it was a very like almost like an SJW oriented picking.
Very forward-thinking, progressive type.
Yeah, but what I thought, but what was cool though is that let's include black folk and whatever. But
Asian lady who no one knows really.
But how they fucking tie it all together is brilliant, man. Like they try to get Jimi Hendrix. And then in order to secure Jimi Hendrix, the girls plot, oh, wait, who's he's heard of? And they get one of the people that inspired fucking, Jimi Hendrix to come in. And that was really well done. And then they roll back and then they grab fucking Mozart.
Right.
And
Hendrix seemed to be
actually that was the scene that I loved. The basically playoff between Mozart and Jimi Hendrix, dude.
Yeah, Jerry mentioned that was one of his favorites too. Whenever Jimi Hendrix plugs into the pod,
the phone booth of the future.
Yeah. Well, Roland, there's a little tidbit in the actual episode where we mentioned that they were eggs from Goop. Gwyneth Paltrow's they were going through like the fallopian tubes of time or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Dude, I thought of Cocoon too when I saw that fucking
pod. Wilford Brimley makes his appearance again.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Brian Dennehy.
Yes. And this is a callback to our episode that we did of the trailer of Face the Music, where I went on a little drunken rant where I would accept this movie no matter how bad it was, as long as they had a solid reference to Rufus.
Yeah.
Oh, and it was.
And they needed like Hollow Rufus or something. And that's exactly what fucking happened, dude. We got a holographic version of fucking Rufus. And I went, dude, I asked for it. I thought it may not happen, and it fucking happened. But did you guys know that originally they had a actual CGI Carlin scene that they were planning?
No, I didn't know that.
Awesome.
Where it was going to be like a hollow Rufus, but because they had enough dialogue from the previous 2 movies, they were able to like stitch some shit together. But some bullshit like the cost was going to run too high to try to integrate that, so they decided to do that little like phone booth tour guide. Or music guy kind of dude. throwback, but I thought that was perfectly done.
Yeah, it was nice and well. I don't know. Like aside from that, I wasn't too aware of too many like Easter eggs or like callbacks in the movie. I mean, there was when fucking Dennis drops into hell, face plants. I was like, okay, it's like got to be a direct fucking like gag back to like Bill and Ted's Bogus Adventure, Bogus Journey.
I mean, that's how Billy and Thea felt though too.
Did they?
That's true. Remember. Yeah.
They crack their heads on a rock, dude, too, and they get up like, dude, are you okay? I think so, dude. Yeah.
So like when Dennis dropped, I thought that reminded me of Death when he comes to.
Yeah, we did agree on that. Yeah, like
and he just whoop, and just eats it.
Yeah.
And I really love the robot. Like he made me laugh my ass off because he's just so fucking weird. Like he starts off like, oh, it's just a normal murder bot, and then he goes and he meets Bill and Ted in the prison verse or whatever, and they're like, you know, oh it's no, man, like, yeah, he tries to kill the original Bill and Ted, and they stop him. They start stomping on him, and as they're stepping on him and just like whipping his ass, the robot says, "That's not a song." They just on him.
I love the actor. I talked about this with you guys before I bailed on the first recording of this. But the actor who plays Dennis, he's great in Barry.
You did mention.
I never watched that. Is that like an FX series?
It's
HBO. I'm more familiar with him as Victor Zsasz in Gotham. Yeah.
Oh, word! I did not know he was on that. Cool.
Yeah.
I haven't watched Gotham either, so.
I thought you had, I guess, or one of you guys had.
Oh, I have. Well, I'm the one that has watched it.
And then I did not realize this until I saw I joined a Star Trek fan page on Facebook recently, and after Bill and Ted 3 came out, they had a little meme where it was, or not really a meme, but just like one of those realization moments where like, you know, that moment I realized that this guy was this guy. Death, who's played by William Sadler, also had a really cool role that he played in a couple episodes of Star Trek Voyager, where here's the Bill and Ted link. He was a time traveler.
Oh, cool.
Because by the time the 29th century rolls around for the Federation, they have they basically are like time cops. They take the Prime Directive and they actually add a new thing called the Temporal Prime Directive. But the first time you see him, he's trying to stop Voyager from doing something, and he jumps 500 years in the past, and then they all get flung back to the fucking late 90s, which is really cool. But yeah, so that actor, he's fantastic in those fucking episodes, and I love him as Death. Just the scene about like, oh, did the restraining order suddenly like go away or whatever? Like, did they suit him? and then how Death tried to steal the name of Wild Stallions because he got just, you know,
like,
you know,
I am Wild Stallion.
Played 40-minute bass solos.
Yeah, it was what the fans wanted. My favorite thing is like he had a really cool intro, just like when Mr. Nancy dies, you know, he's just there flying down and he just sort of like
points at him
and like awesome.
All right. Other favorite scene involved Death when he's playing hopscotch by himself. And they're like, dude, he's cheating.
He's jumping on there. I think he says like 75 out of 102 or something like that. So
I wonder if, so going back to Bill and Ted 2, did Bill and Ted just pick games that Death didn't really know to play against him? And that's how they won, because Death didn't know how to cheat on those games?
I think they just picked games that they knew how to play.
Oh, yeah. But then like maybe Death wasn't familiar with them or whatever. Like maybe in earlier things, you know, like there were games that Death knew, so he knew how to cheat. Because if he's playing hopscotch by himself in the third movie and he's cheating,
I don't know. I
wouldn't cheat out, people that he's challenged to, challenge me to a game, and
Well, they have to challenge him, right? To stuff that they
but maybe Death just didn't know what Battleship was about, so he didn't know how to cheat.
Maybe not. But that's also kind of a.
He didn't think about lying.
You know what, dude? It would have been so fucking funny if he tried cheating on Battleship. Like they call something out, and he's like, you see him like reach over and pull up the Battleship and try to move its position or something, like it's not there or some dumb shit. Like that would have been really funny, actually. But I think it would have been really hard for him to cheat against them because like they're both watching him to begin with. Like, what are you doing over there, dude? Like nothing. You're like, no.
Well, yeah, I mean, Death could easily deny that he was cheating, which he probably did. That, I mean, he one of the game, which game was it? Where like the table football, where he fucking just knocks the pieces over. He's like,
I've never played those. I always thought that they were.
He rage quits.
Yeah, he rage quits, and then. Not only that, I mean, technically it's not even a draw. I mean, there's any like forfeiting, so technically they would have won.
Yep.
And then, but they just automatically agreed to the next game that he's gonna attempt to play.
Yeah, it's like 5 out of 7.
Yeah.
All right.
Damn right. Finally gives up when he like dislocates his hip or whatever playing Twister.
Yeah.
This movie fucking ruled, man. And I thought, so going back to my feelings on it and how it kind of works as a trilogy. Mm-hmm. Roland, you did mention how it draws on elements from the first two movies. And I think that it does, and it's not in a painful way in any sense, or it's like, oh, Simpsons did it sort of vibe. Because you have, Thea and Billy going through their own very Bill and Ted like adventure.
Right.
And
it's just Bill and Ted going on and like doing like the more of the
trying to finish their mission, whereas like Billy and Thea are starting something that they're not sure where it's going. They're just trying to help their dads get a band together. And then the plot twist at the end, the Shamalama twist is, oh no, Preston and Logan were Thea and Billy, not Bill and Ted.
Right. They are the producers.
You're not here to back us. We're here to back you.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And like I had said before, like that song that they made was okay-ish. And then like it to me it got better when Bill and Ted went on there and started harmonizing and doing their little leads and shit.
Because that's when they introduced the metal, Roland. You're like, finally, God, I've been waiting for the metal.
Good. Like I don't have to listen to this lady play her flute or whatever.
She was summoning fucking Jethro Tull, man. Like,
but I feel as a whole that this movie really tied the series together.
Yeah,
it was a nice rug in the center of an apartment. But what's cool is that there's potential for like other Bill and Ted movies, but with Billy and Thea.
Maybe.
Because they've made a song, they've like saved reality or whatever, but they've
already met death. It could be Billy and Thea, the return of Station.
Oh, sorry. Okay, remember another favorite scene when Kid Cudi's getting ready to go back to his own time. He's like, Station.
I wasn't expecting that.
I think Daniel, Jerry had like this like theory that Station Kid Cudi might be like I guess the beginnings of the Station character or something.
Reincarnation or something.
Yeah, some kind of reincarnation or something. Because since he was like throwing out like all these like quantum physics shit. I'm assuming that he was correct in the whole thing. He could have been spouting off like nonsense, but they were asking Kid Cudi, and he's like throwing out all this like knowledge and shit.
With that, like when they're trying to ask him if he knows where MP40 is, and then Kid Cudi goes on this like physics tangent, and then I think his Bill goes, "Does anyone know where MP40 is?"
So I guess your official rating for this movie, Daniel.
Dude, I'm giving it a 5, and I was super worried about this movie because it arose in that climate of let's revisit movies from the 80s and shit.
Yeah,
do like another a
quasi reboot. Would you say?
Sort of, but I mean, it's a straight up sequel too. You know,
it is a straight up sequel, but like in that it's a franchise that they're. It's a franchise that's like almost 30 years old or something like that at this point, and they're just bringing it back. But it's been in limbo for like.
I mean, it's the same thing that we're gonna get with the new Ghostbusters movie, which technically is like a sequel to the second one, you know. So I mean, we'll see how that turns out. Mind you, I haven't heard anything about that movie in the past couple of months.
I haven't heard anything about anything. Like
I've seen the trailer.
Yeah, that's it. But that was a while back, though. I mean, most movies you've heard, we've heard from. We've heard from like directors or producers regarding the dates and changes. The date changes of certain movies that were supposed to come out already, but I haven't heard anything from that though.
I have not either.
So straight up 5, huh? Daniel, I think I gave it a straight up solid 4. I think it was a 4.
Jerry was a 4.5.
Jerry was a 4.5. Roland, I don't remember what you gave the movie itself.
4.25.
Yeah, 4.25. Yeah, it was a total troll. Typical Roland trolling rating, you know.
Talking about perfect rating. You're welcome.
So yeah, we pretty much covered all parts of the rating. I mean, I won't get into. I won't get into.
It's kind of surprising.
I won't get into reasonings why, because you'll hear it on the episode. But we all still. I mean, I think across the board, we all enjoyed the movie a lot. We were all pretty worried about it. Did not disappoint, because I mean, once you hit play, and honestly, as soon as that first joke came around with Missy and Deacon and all that shit, I was like, I think I'm gonna probably enjoy this movie already, because like they're revisiting that joke, but I mean, it didn't seem old. I was like, oh shit, they're just continuing on with that, but it's in a whole new thing. I mean, she's marrying Ted's little brother, which is fucking hilarious.
And the break in that scene was hilarious. You know, where there's like, and in doing so, he made my dad his own son or his own stepson, or whatever.
And his brother, like his own stepson or something like that.
It was just nonsense, but it was so funny. We did talk about the fact that they said they were welcoming them back into with open arms. So I assuming at some point there was some bad blood between Missy and Deacon and the father and all that shit, because I mean, of course, like she just moved on to the son. So we can only speculate on what happened there, but I mean, it's still pretty funny. But yeah, so
Bill's dad is nowhere to be seen.
He's probably dead by this point, dude.
Yeah,
because he looked on his last leg in part 2, and that was like
he wanted to die. Yeah,
I mean, he looked fucking bad. I mean, they even mentioned it in part 2, and he's like, "Man, your dad looks bad," and he's like, I know, and then he just chugs the soda.
Yeah. Whoa, take it easy, man. That's Pepsi.
All right. You don't want too much of the real thing.
Exactly. Pace yourself.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I mean, Daniel, any final words you have regarding this movie?
This fucking movie is awesome. That's it.
Straight up.
And, be excellent to each other. Party on, dudes.
All right. Well, we'll see you in the next movies that we do. So, all right.
See ya.
See ya, dudes.
And any other last thoughts?
I think Roland had his last thoughts just now.
Sure.
Any last thoughts regarding Bill and Ted's the trilogy? We're done. The trilogy now.
Very enjoyable trilogy.
Watch this fucking movie.
Yeah, what I mean, if you can watch all of them, if you can watch all of them, that'd be cool. If you want to watch one, I mean, any of them really would be fun.
If there's ever
in these trying times, sitting your ass at home.
If there's ever a movie that you would like to support in any way, and with what seems like really good
people, fucking Keanu
getting
Reeves,
in it,
Alex Winter,
support this fucking movie. People, you know,
they're fucking cool. Like they're nice folks. Yeah,
very creative movies, I would say.
Like, these are the kinds of people that you actually want to meet.
You want to meet, and I'm pretty sure, like, they
would be happy to meet.
They've had. I feel like any person who's met any of these people, like, has had a good experience.
That whole thing where don't meet your fucking heroes or whatever the hell, like, does not apply here. These guys are all. They all seem pretty upbeat.
And you know what this one didn't seem like a chore for these guys. They looked like they had fun.
Yeah,
it translates through the whole fucking movie. Yeah. And if you watch it, it's a fucking good time. Watch it with your family. Watch it with your friends, especially if they've seen the movies. Like I feel like anyone who complains about this movie is just a nitpicky bitch. You know, like they're just fucking like.
Are you talking about?
They want to.
Yeah, because these movies are just to be enjoyed. You know, you watch it, you don't.
I would say if the people who's like talking shit about this movie is that. They're film people, and it's not art enough, artistic enough. Fuck them, right?
I don't like the camera angles and.
You go. This podcast is for those weekends
Toss
and Fridays.
Sarlacc pit.
Renting movies at the video store, and just having a good time watching these fucking movies. So, until next time, we didn't introduce ourselves. My name is Ray.
This is Roland.
And Jerry.
And we'll see you next time.
Peace.
And whatever other movie we do. So
I still think we should do Guns Akimbo.
We'll probably do that. Okay, that's the next movie.
Black Knight. Black Knight.
That's not an action movie.
That's not an action movie just yet, Jerry. But on the list.
It'll probably be on the list. Right up there with Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
All right. That's it. See you next time.
Take care.
Laters.